Wow, everyone's ready to go already. Oh my god. Okay, I'm also ready to go.
Wait, I always forget if I have to record.
You don't, but you can if you'd like and have a backup recording. I know Gagan's
Brendan's
recording
got
his
the
Audacity
fancy,
anyway.
well, yeah, but then I just delete it right away.
Yeah.
Just to keep me honest.
Just keep me honest.
Okay, you got it.
You will sound good enough over the call.
All right, here we go.
Love to hear it.
Ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hey, Upper East Siders, and welcome back to another episode of the Lonely Boys podcast. My name is Matt. I'm one of your titular Lonely Boys, and I'm here to break down Season 5, Episode 18 of Gossip Girl, Con Air. I'm not here by myself. He's podcasting live from the Uncle Cream wing of the hospital. It's Brendan Ruppel.
Hello, I'm your co-host, of course, the creepy uncle of podcasting, aka Uncle Cream. Hi, Daily Cream Nation, recording live as always from the crematorium. I'm the editor-in-chief here at Cream Weekly. Dr. Officer Cream reporting for duty. Cream, yes, cream. And ACAB, all creams are bastards. Oh, yeah, we got to chime in.
I feel like I'm looking at the video, and I feel like my head is like almost cut. Like if I just straighten up my posture a little bit, I'm going off the.
Yeah,
but I don't want to slouch.
While we're talking about it too, I think this is maybe the first video that I'm hatless as well. I don't know if this is like jarring for you. This is 3 hatless men.
You have nice hair.
Oh, thank you. I just washed it.
You should do hatless more often.
I'm also hatless. I got a haircut on Tuesday. So
yeah, but you and I don't have that exciting of hair. Not to bring you down.
Got a one number all the way around.
I've been sporting the buzz cut since senior year of high school when Eaton Nick famously offered me free breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a week if I got a buzz cut, and never looked back.
Were you long haired at the time when they offered that?
Yeah, I was. I was in my long hair era from 6th grade to 12th grade.
Wow, bring it back, I say.
No.
No, it's so much easier to just do the buzz cut. You go in, you go into Lemon Tree every 5 weeks, and you say, "I'll get a 4 on top and a 3 on the sides," and they charge you $15. You give a $5 tip, and then you're out of there. It takes like 15 minutes. 15 minutes, $15. $1 a minute.
$1 a minute.
That's math.
Good old Lemon Tree. Yeah.
You may be wondering who's chiming in there, and eagle-eyed viewers of the video, if they saw me adjusting my camera just now, may also know who our guest is. He is no stranger to the podcast. He is now this is Brendan. This is the 3rd week in a row we have someone joining the Six Timers Club. Wow. He's now the 4th members of the Six Timers Club, on his way to try and become the most frequent guest of the podcast. Please welcome back to the Lonely Boys, Matt Liguori. Matt,
hello.
How are you?
Yes, we're really testing the quantity over quality at this point because as far as I'm concerned, the race is on to get to that magic number 7.
It really is.
Or even maybe a number 8. We'll see how things go. So at this point, I'm like, give me anything. Give me the worst episodes. Give me any.
And we did.
Any album review. I'll
take
it
spoil
all.
anything. We don't have a new favorite episode of mine, I'll tell you that.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Again, I'm happy. Just got to be in the race.
Yeah, I think maybe the writers at this point are also in that camp of quantity over quality. Like, let's just keep pumping these things out.
Let's just pump out this 24 episode order.
Yeah. Season 5 of a lot of these shows, I feel like, falls into this category of just what's going on.
Yeah, so maybe why we don't get more season 5s in TV shows.
Yeah. And then to me, when you're going 6 seasons out of a 6-season show, season 6, a lot of times, a little bit of a bounce back season. So we'll see if that happens with Gossip Girl. But I think I flagged up that I hate season 6 of Gossip Girl. So don't get your hopes up too high, Brendan.
I mean, honestly, with season 5, I've been waiting for this episode to happen, like time and time again. Like, okay, here we go. It took like till the very end of the season, or nearing it, to get like kind of shitty, but it's honestly, season 5 has been like not that different from the rest of the series.
Yeah.
It's just like, I think we're missing some key people, and that's really the only reason why it's been subpar.
I think since the high point of the wedding, I think we've been on a pretty steady decline since then.
It wasn't a huge drop off, but it's definitely been ticking down.
Yeah.
Matthew, what would you say you're the most excited for, like, getting to next, besides getting out of this rut that the show's in? Is it like finding out the thing for Brendan at least, or is it something else?
Yeah, I would say so. I think
spoil.
I think getting to season 6 and seeing if it lives down to how terrible I remember it being, and then I think talking about the finale, which I think is terrible. I think will be a
Really?
lot of fun as well. People have messaged me separately asking if they can just pre-record a rant about how terrible the finale
Please,
is. and
yeah.
if we
Oh,
can-
wow.
That could maybe be included in like our at post season.
You need a guest for that
recap.
episode because I don't
post-mortem.
have a rant, but I can help critique people's rants.
Yeah,
All right, we'll
DJ
come
with
on. Yeah,
us.
let's do an episode where Liguori ranks the rants.
Yeah, we'll see. Matt, I will ask you what I ask all of our 6-time guests, and that is how much Gossip Girl have you watched between now and since the last time you've been on the podcast?
Okay, so the real answer is one episode 17 of season 5. You gotta, go back an episode to make sure you're ready for your episode. But also, does Blake Lively at the Super Bowl count as?
Yeah, I think that's
Bonus
Gossip
content,
Girl.
yeah.
Then I've watched more Gossip Girl than I usually do before coming on.
I was asked on
and
Twitter if
watched
I thought she had a good hair day that day, and she did have a good hair day.
Oh, she did. She looked so good.
Yeah,
she
that's
looked
great.
so good at the Super Bowl. I heard it was like 51 seconds in total that Taylor was on screen during that broadcast, but I assume that's all. Was it all 51 with Blake, or they were pretty
she was
close?
right next to it for a lot of it.
Yeah. Next year we
Yeah.
got to get her over a minute.
Hopefully,
People will love that.
So in some capacity, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think any Blake Lively appearance is canonically an episode of Gossip Girl. Simple Favor, Gossip Girl.
Gossip Girl.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is
Gossip
Gossip Girl.
So then I've watched like 43 minutes and 51 seconds since we last spoke.
There you go.
That's exactly. Well, I guess without further ado, let's just get into this episode here. We have the eponymous Matt Liguori when it comes to the Liguori line himself. So don't want to keep anyone here for too long today.
Thank you.
Brendan. You're welcome, Brendan. The episode of this, the title of this episode is Con Air, spelled Heir. You have any idea what this might be referencing?
It's got to be a single word, Con Air.
Okay.
I think spelled like kind of like the product. I don't know if there's an E at the end or not. I want to just say there's. You know what? Don't listen to me.
So are you like predicting the spelling here? What do you think the spelling?
I
of
guess
this
because I'm
reference
saying
is?
that I'm trying to give you more because it's just like the same word if you just say it
Right.
out loud. But I think I'm getting myself into trouble the more I speak.
So yeah. What are you saying? What is it referencing?
Con Air. It's referencing Con Air.
Con Air.
Whatever that is.
Brendan, this is
The hair
referencing
thing.
the 1997 film Con Air. Yes, you're correct. Air is spelled AIR instead of HEIR.
Okay, good.
Yeah, would have been tough for you to spell your way out of this one. I guess.
Did he clarify if he was referencing a piece of media or a hair tool?
Yeah.
That feels
is
important.
it referencing? That's true.
Not the hair tool. Definitely not.
I think we're all
okay.
agreeing that the less you say, Brendan, the better. You don't want to get yourself into trouble with these.
Yeah.
You said Con Air. That was good enough here. You're now 10 for 18.
I should just give you the answer, but I think people love when we stretch this segment out.
Yeah. Oh my God, they love it. I'm getting messages right now telling us
Yeah.
to keep it going.
Yeah, you love the user review
For all the
segment. The fans love the movie reference
yeah.
segment.
So the original air date of this episode, April 2nd, 2012. We've been very timely with these episodes. Now,
wow.
Unfortunately, I guess they went on their
a big
spring
jump.
break a little bit. So we are no longer in the same month as these episodes took place. This could have been the April Fool's Day episode if they wanted to make it. But
Felt like it was,
unfortunately,
So
maybe.
close to graduating high school in the life of Matt.
we were, yeah.
Yeah.
We were probably
Taking
buying our
APs.
tickets for graduation, getting ready for prom.
Buying
APs
tickets,
were a
what a
month
joke.
away.
High school's such a joke.
We also had to buy our gowns too, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get
That's how
my gown
they
until
get
the
us
day
with
of.
everything. Ah, yes, you famously waited to the last. You and Rich both, right?
Pretty sure my high school gown is within like about 5 feet of me. I think it's in the closet
Really?
of this room.
I think mine is also in my closet somewhere. I guess what would they have done if we just didn't buy the cap and gown?
I think we all need to just record the rest of this podcast.
I think that's a
Paper
great
Bag
idea.
Monster sequel. That's-
Maybe you 3 people know what that means.
Yep. And thank God you did end up buying that cap and gown so you could make those great YouTube videos.
Well, that one was from the middle school graduation.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. So instead of starting with that'd be crazy if you were filming that in college. That's a good point.
That doesn't seem that crazy to me, honestly.
I'll take a link whenever you'd like to drop it.
Nope.
I need to
Not
delete that.
happening.
No, that one's actually
yeah.
just not cancelable.
No, that one's fine. I think you have
Yeah.
to delete your entire
the
account.
rest.
I think.
Yeah.
Don't take.
I'm
any
gonna start
chances
moving
here.
some good stuff over from that account over to the current.
Great. Okay. And now that everyone is confused, instead of starting with a Gossip Girl voiceover, we start with a Serena voiceover as she's writing her iconic S by S column. This gave me a good laugh. Dear S by S readers, it looks like spring has finally sprung. And lucky for us, one thing hasn't popped up yet is Gossip Girl. And then she starts talking about her family's unfortunate exile to Brooklyn. Serena's whole thing is that her column is like the anti-Gossip Girl, so I don't know what she's been blogging about with Gossip Girl out of the picture. I don't know how
Just
she's
herself.
supposed to be Gossip Girl now. I mean, I guess being fired might help. She's got nothing else going on for her. So why did Georgina pick Serena to begin with? We kind of asked that question last week, but there's so many better options, I feel like.
I guess because she knows Serena's already sort of in the business of doing this, so she's like, "Hey, just switch up your content and keep doing what you're doing." I don't know.
Maybe it's just that she knows Serena's address, so she was able to send the laptop there. She doesn't know anyone else's address offhand.
Yeah, that's true.
Could be as simple as that.
It's crazy to me that this is like the number one blog in America. I don't know what the stats are, but it seems horrible. I can't imagine anyone listening to this.
I that's what people say about this podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, not true.
We got a
Not
defender
true.
on.
Well, speaking of Brooklyn, here we are in full-blown dare mode as Blair is here in Brooklyn without complaining to visit Dan. She's in her sexy clothes as Dan's face immediately drops. Blair wants to know what's wrong because she's perfect as usual. They've been waiting for a week. And that's when Rufus and Lily walk into the room. Also, William Vanderwoodson is also just sitting at the table.
And the three of them were wearing the same outfit as Blair.
Yep. They were all wearing the same dress. Blair quickly puts her jacket back on. She thought everyone was having breakfast with William, but Dan didn't clarify they were having breakfast here. I'm surprised Rufus even let William into his house. We will see there's a little bit of tension still there, but Lily tells Blair she's welcome to join them for breakfast, and Blair comes in. Couldn't she say now?
Yeah.
I've never seen two humans more in heat than these two throughout this entire episode. Starting at the very top here with, the way that Blair shows up ready to go. I don't know how old they are at this point, but not that it matters. But
21. I think they're supposed to be 21 now. Juniors in college.
Like the way that they depict usually, younger people on shows like this is like as soon as they first discover intimates with one another that they just can't keep their hands off of each other. But these kids are a little bit older at this point, but look, they're both extremely hot, so good for them.
Yeah, what a duo.
They haven't done it yet, and now they finally can. So
They maybe at peak hotness, both of them at this point in the series. I don't know.
Interesting theory.
Yeah.
You know what? More to come on that in our season
come
recap
back for those
when we rank
rankings too.
hotness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
exactly.
Yeah.
So Chuck is handling Blair and Dan being together well. He's got a bunch of girls over. Uncle Jack is here, of course, as well, who Chuck just found out supposedly saved his life. And Chuck officially thanks him, and Jack thinks he's talking about over a year ago when he saved him from Russell Thorpe. But no, Chuck is referring to the car accident after his body rejected the first blood transfusion and he needed a family member. And Jack hardly reacts to this, but we haven't really seen Chuck be cordial to Jack, but I guess saving your life changes your opinion of people.
Yeah, I guess so. It's so funny that last episode we get this shoehorn scene of Lily going like, "Oh no, it wasn't me. It was Jack that gave you the blood."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Why the fuck do we care about that?" And it's so we can do this.
Yep. And remember, this doesn't change the fact that Jack is probably still the most detestable villain that the show has ever seen. We're really just like
He's a good guy now.
treating him as a regular human now.
Yeah, and he's still
One of
got
us.
that stink to him, which I guess is supposed to be charming.
You could smell it through the TV.
It's a charming smell coming through the TV.
I'd call it aggravating, but I'm glad it works for you.
The charming smell of aggravation. That's it.
Yeah.
That's my scent, my cologne.
Aggravation by
He
by
points to
Russell.
these two women. He's like, "Hey, you two, let's go." Like, oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. Well, Jack considered letting Chuck die and taking his billions, but instead, Chuck let him have all the hot girls last night. So that was Chuck's first gift. And he goes, "My second is a bit larger." And I really thought this episode was going somewhere different with that, but thank God they did not go the incest route there.
Would have been the
Oh, why he
horniest
said it
episode
like-
of Gossip Girl of all time.
I don't know why Chuck said it like that. Maybe Brendan's version had something.
Yeah, I was
along
gonna say.
those
Well,
lines,
famously,
but-
Lonely Boys are down for that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well,
Whoa.
step. Not if Jack was Chuck's step uncle, then yes, we'd be down for it.
Well, we don't know because he wasn't allowed to use that blood, so that would make
Right,
sense.
exactly.
Yeah.
I was going to say there's too much of a blood relation, and that blood has too much hepatitis C in it. So. Chuck is endowing a new wing at the hospital, and it's going to be called the Jack Bass Pavilion. Couldn't happen to a better guy. And Jack looks kind of happy. Tonight's going to be the ribbon cutting ceremony. Chuck noticeably is going to be like, no one comes to his ribbon cutting ceremony because I guess everyone's at Ivy's party. So kind of two events at the same time. And but yeah, so Jack is skeptical, but he's going to sleep off the drugs from last night, and he will attend the ribbon cutting ceremony.
He's a cool guy.
It's very cool. Yeah,
I think someone's really
so
cool is when they
drugs.
casually mention that they just did drugs.
Yeah, and while Jack has,
Has ever a ribbon cutting? Oh, sorry, cut you off.
gosh, I don't think that I've gone to a ribbon cutting
have either,
ceremony.
honestly.
Yeah.
Have you been?
No. I feel like Adventureland had a bunch over the years.
Yeah, I
Definitely
feel
had
like
one when
that.
Turbulence opened, but
Right.
For like
Probably
individual
more along
rides.
the way.
That's cool.
yeah, you just
No,
you
he
cut a
was at
ribbon
the,
and
he was
say,
at
"Yahoo!"
the opening of Adventureland in
I was like, I didn't know
1962.
how old you
When they
were.
cut the ribbon, yeah.
Yeah, that too.
You look great.
But otherwise, I mean, yeah, I don't think they're the hype, but I don't know.
We could do a ribbon cutting ceremony.
Yeah, I think
when we do our
could.
first. I don't know what we're going to cut the ribbon for. I was going to say our first live podcast,
We
but
do
I
our-
don't know why we would cut a
oh.
ribbon for that.
Maybe the live show, but like I was gonna say,
Yeah.
a couple, maybe 100 episodes too late on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, Rufus has made too many waffles, but only because it's so great to be back in his old kitchen. It's the little quirks that make it feel like home, like having to light the burners with a match. I still can't believe that. I mean, one thing, Lily doesn't even want to be here. She's been itching to get out all episodes since last week. I can't believe that Blair is willingly sitting here,
It is weird.
especially because she thought she was going to be having sex, and now she's just having waffles. I don't even recognize Blair anymore. What is she doing?
Okay, but sex or waffles? I mean, let's just talk about it.
Porque no los does.
I mean, depends on who you ask. If you ask Rufus, I think he's always choosing waffles. I mean, maybe a combination of both.
yeah. I think there's some waffle foreplay involved in the bedroom.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I'm open to the
for-
conversation.
He's not filling those divots with butter. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, whoa.
Jeez. Good use of the word
Take it
divots.
That's what they're called, right? Waffle divots.
Yeah, everyone calls them that. Lily's been going all over the city to make arrangements so that the family can get their mail and their croissants. She pleads with William that he has to find a way to fix this. I don't know why this is on William, because he happened to be the one that read the will, I guess. But he's like, yeah, my hands are tied. There's nothing wrong with the will. And I'm supposed to remain neutral anyway. Lily and Rufus are going to meet with the lawyer, but William's like, yeah, they're not going to tell you anything different. And finally, the old Rufus is back as he asks William why he's even still here. But he doesn't say it. He kind of like mumbles it under his breath like a loser.
But there's only like a few people at the table.
Why are you still here, William? What the hell?
Yeah, honestly, I knew like he doesn't like William, but it still seemed out of nowhere. It made me like laugh out loud.
It was funny.
They're having a very cordial conversation like 30 seconds ago.
Yes. So Dan tries to get everyone out of the loft to get started on their busy days. He's like, me and Blair can just clean up here, as if the family obviously. I was like, this is so obvious. The family obviously knows they're going to start fucking as soon as they leave, but
Yeah.
Blair doesn't even seem to realize. She's like, what? I don't want to clean. But so Dan has to like kick her, and then she agrees that everyone should leave immediately.
Yeah, the two of them hanging out in Brooklyn in this place makes them seem younger and less mature for some reason. I guess just like it's a lack of class that we're used to from Blair, especially.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting. It's filthy.
Yeah.
You can't blame Lily for wanting to get the
They're
fuck
like
out of
one
here.
one step away from. They're about to like put a sock on the door for like Rufus and Lily
Yes,
to
they
walk,
are.
come home and see that. I guess we can't come in.
Yeah, how far is
Yeah.
Blair stooped?
Just fucking inside.
I know. Lily's trying to get out. Lily should be like, come on, Blair, we're better than this. Let's
Yeah.
get out of here.
She
We're not
should.
going to stay in Brooklyn. Ivy and Lola speak on the phone now. I love that. At least in this scene, it seems like Ivy calls Lola regularly. Like Ivy
does.
stole Lola's identity, and now they're the ones who like became somewhat of friends. Solely because the Vanderwoodson family is just that terrible. I
Yeah.
feel like, but and Ivy asks Lola if she's seen what the Vanderwoodsons have said about Ivy in the paper today. Lola doesn't read the paper, not even her boyfriends apparently, because that's where the story is. The Vanderwoodsons are telling the press that Ivy's father's fatal overdose sparked her lifetime of criminal behavior. Ivy still claims that she's not a criminal, even though she is. Even though I'm rooting for her, she is partaking in criminal behavior here, as Lola points out. But Ivy's like, listen, Lily has plenty of money. Cece wanted me to have some too, and she's having this conversation in the from the comfort of her new breakfast table in the penthouse.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for Ivy getting some money, but I'm fully on Lily's side of being annoyed about the penthouse situation and wanting it back. Like you get used to a certain lifestyle. This girl just takes it over and is like by herself in this enormous place and just is spitefully living there. I'd be trying at all costs to get it back to.
Agreed. And it would be so easy, I feel like, for Lily to just be like, hey, keep the money. We'll keep the penthouse. It'll be fine. Like all they had to do was just kind of be cordial to Ivy. I guess why they don't. I get why they don't want to, because she is conning their family out of money,
Right.
seemingly. But still, he's got money. She doesn't need all of it.
From their point of view, it's still really difficult to not think that this woman, that Ivy killed her mom too. So it's difficult.
Or at least hastened her death.
Yes. Ivy the Death Hastener.
That's right. Lola enters the spectator's office. Serena sees her, of course, wants a friendly chat with her. She's like, oh, I was just about to call you. Is there any chance I can interview you for my Ivy Dickens story? But Lola doesn't want to get involved. And Serena's like, well, you're already involved. Not only what she did to your family, but what she did to you is worst of all. Really trying to convince Lola that they're on the same side here, even though Lola really doesn't want to talk about it, especially not in the press. And Serena finally backs off. She's just like, all right, well, if you change your mind.
Serena's the most annoying person in the entire world.
This whole episode, she's going to be like trying to manipulate. Lola, you're one of us. You're part of our family. You have to like us. You have to side with us.
Fucking idiot Lola falls for this bullshit. I just wish she would stay strong. And
I know she was doing so well.
Yeah. I don't know. Something came over her. I don't know what happened.
I mean,
are we Lola boys? Do we like?
I was okay with her until the end of this episode.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's nothing to particularly love or
she's a good
hate
actress
about her. She's in the show, or the actress playing her.
Oh,
yeah, she got the Julia. She must be a pretty good.
Yeah, she's got to be.
I mean, yeah, she's just kind of there. She's another girl for Nate to date, another person for Serena to be cousins with.
She's fine. She's not like Vanessa.
Yeah.
We don't despise
No,
her.
no,
She's
no.
not. Don't love her. Okay, she's like the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's just here.
And you're asking that so you can feel that way too. You want to know what we think so you can think it.
That's exactly right.
Good man.
I mean, I loved how Lola was handling this. She was like refusing to let Serena or like the rest of her family manipulate her. Like just because Carol sucks doesn't mean the rest of her family is any better. And Nate like conveniently waited for the conversation to be over before leaving his office. And he's like, I wasn't behind this, I swear. Serena just works here. And so Nate suggests calling her Uncle Billy back, and she agrees that it couldn't hurt to ask him. What is she going to ask? Like, hey, Uncle Billy, do I fit into this family? And he's going to be like, I don't know, sweetie, but I'm definitely not your father. Like, how does she envision that conversation going?
Yeah, she already kind of tried once, and he just stared at her. And I guess, but now if they have the conversation again, he has the information that he's actually her father, so there could be a different outcome to the conversation. But just because he
Maybe
knows
somebody
more.
on the writers' team just has a uncle thing going on with all the uncles.
Could be it. All the uncles are here this
show.
episode. They're breaking glass in case of emergency. They're like, bring in all the uncles. We need.
I'm just picking up on a theme here. I don't know if it means anything, but a lot of different uncles.
A lot of different uncles.
Season 5, the season of uncles.
That's what the subtitle was. That's how they advertised it. It's the season. It's the uncle of all seasons.
Not your uncle's Gossip Girl.
Not your uncle's Gossip Girl. Jack and Billy Baldwin were on the poster together. They were kind of backs against each other with their arms crossed. It's very cool.
Yeah, it sounds rad.
Carol's yelling at William on the phone again. He tries to explain to her that he can't just overturn a legal document because she's blackmailing him, but Carol doesn't care what's legal. She wants her inheritance. She suggests that Uncle Billy just pay for her himself. And he says he can't do that because he works for a living. I don't understand what he means by that, because I feel like he can afford to pay Carol off as a billionaire surgeon.
I think it's just like his version of a slam at Carol again, saying like, you don't do anything to make your money.
One thing he does is make fun of Carol for not working.
Yeah. Gets better each time. I also, my favorite part of this episode is the fact that Carol does not have to be on screen. It's really great. If you're gonna talk to Carol, she's a phone call away. Let's keep rolling with that. If we're gonna talk to her, get her the hell out of my TV.
I feel I could still hear her agape mouth over the phone. Now. I could tell that she wasn't closing her mouth after she was speaking.
Can you imagine how
be
she
a great
fucking
podcast
eats?
guest? You could just get her on the phone anytime.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Actually, for this week, we're not going to do video, Carol. If you could just keep that up.
She'll be there in a second. I mean, it's pretty foolproof.
So Carol tells William to get ready for Serena and Eric to hate him. I don't think he has to worry about Eric too much. Eric seems too much wrapped up in his world travels to care about anything going on here. But yeah, he's in the. I mean, it's anything but, believe me. Billy calls her bluff. He knows that Lily would never forgive Carol, and she hired someone to play her daughter just to keep it a secret. But Carol tells Billy that should give him some sense of what she's willing to do for the money. So, all right, who are we rooting for, Carol or Billy? Or do we care?
I don't really. Well, definitely not Carol. What Billy's doing is also shifty.
By default, Uncle Billy.
But he's my uncle, so I gotta.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's statistically your uncle, so you have to root for him.
I have to.
Do you anticipate any of your other uncles being in Gossip Girl before the end of the run?
That's how it really becomes a season of uncles. It's all of my uncles on the TV show.
Yeah, surprised you didn't know about it. We've been keeping it secret for you for so long that all of your uncles appear in the 6th season.
And then my other uncle on my dad's side comes on
also
too.
is crazy. Good for you.
Yeah, it's. I don't know if they all know my name.
You only have one uncle?
My dad's side,
Yeah.
Only got one uncle.
Oh, I don't.
Wait, who are you talking to? There's two of us.
I was talking to Matt. Brendan,
okay.
I assumed had multiple uncles because we were just talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, one, and who knows where he is?
Is he wealthy? Because I feel like a lot of people have a rich uncle.
I don't think so.
I certainly do not have a rich uncle. Wow. I mean, we can't all be related to the Baldwins.
Maybe because I got rich uncles. I know DeRosa has a rich uncle.
So 2, the sample size of 2.
2 out of 5.
Looks like the people who lived on your block growing up have rich uncles.
Yeah.
The parents have finally left the loft. As soon as they're gone, Blair and Dan head to the bedroom. They're going over all of their failed attempts at coitus thus far. It really feels like the universe doesn't want this to happen. Maybe they should listen to it. They still need to keep it a secret until Georgina can get Blair her divorce. Otherwise, she's going to have to pay the dowry. I guess the prenup specifically says if you have sex with someone else, you have to pay the dowry. Like, I don't know. Okay. But nothing can get in their way now. Not even another unfortunate unzipping incident, as Blair calls it. I'm sorry, what was going on here? What was this unfortunate zipping incident that happened?
Something must have gotten caught somewhere.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about it.
No. But isn't this terrible, though? Like, we had this big moment where they get together last episode, and This is where it goes. Like, oh, they're together, so watch them be horny for an episode. Like, cool.
But the sex is bad at first.
Yeah, interesting.
I'll say something that is good is when we get the Cedric the Cabbage Patch doll callback. It's been a while since we've checked in on him.
Yeah.
It was rude that Dan threw a shirt over his face, but...
let Cedric get his jollies.
Yeah,
I don't watch.
Yeah, but like anytime that you see in like media that there's like, not to say that like, I don't know who would have done this to them, but like you see like a camera installed in like a teddy bear, it's always
in the Cabbage Patch doll. Yeah,
it's always like I don't know.
That's a Jack Bass move right
it's
there.
true. Shifty Uncle Billy was just in the.
Somebody's uncle put a camera in that thing.
Yeah.
So
if I know uncles, someone's uncle put a camera in the room, and so a car alarm goes off as they're making out. So now they can't screw with that much noise going on. So I guess they give up again.
And I think this is the moment that shattered the glass for me. I was like, "What the fuck is Blair doing in that room on this like tiny little boy's bed, trying to bone in Brooke? This is so sad."
They don't have anywhere that
she's supposed to fuck at bar mitzvahs only.
That's true.
People are always saying that in the city of New York, it's hard to find somewhere to have sex. People always say
yes.
that.
Yeah, they can't afford a motel room for the.
Yeah,
for the
city never sleeps,
but they
can't bone.
Also, Blair's thing is like, oh, we can't have sex at my place because Serena's home. Like, she has her own room, and what is Serena gonna do? Like, cockblock them? Whatever. The whole thing is so.
Serena might
far-fetched.
Them, yeah.
She
honestly.
might, yes.
And these are people who are like not in like a college dorm or anything like that where other people of their age might be. They have it better than most people their age.
They should just go back to their college dorm. They should go to Columbia.
Yeah, they're probably still paying for it. They don't even realize.
Yeah, probably. At the Spectator, Serena has her package. As she's opening it, Nate asks Serena to take it easy on Lola. But Serena decides to answer very rudely. She's like, if you don't mind, I think I'll determine how to handle my family. Serena's so territorial when it comes to her family that she just met. Nate's like, okay, it was just a suggestion.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to have this fight with Serena.
Like, Serena, this girl doesn't even really want to talk to you ever, so don't act like protective over her.
Yeah. Serena reads the note from Gossip Girl. S. Welcome to your future as Gossip Girl 3.0. I wouldn't tell anyone you have this. Trust me, anonymity is key. And don't pretend you're not intrigued. We all know there's only one Upper East Side blogger who matters, and it's not S by S. The power is in your hands. Your old friend G. Singular. P.S. Keep the password to yourself. I love that Georgina shits on S by S. I love that she refers to herself as G singular. And I love that she feels like she has to tell Serena not to share the password. As if Serena's just going to start telling everyone what the password is.
Yeah, the note full of slams by Georgina.
Yeah, really good.
Good stuff. But this is so stupid. We literally did this with Serena this season, where she's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm getting all the tips to my email, but I'm not going to use them." And now she just has a laptop instead. So, this was like 10 episodes ago.
Yeah, that's right.
So she's going to change her mind now?
Yes.
Season 5, baby.
Crazy.
Season 5. Anything goes. The
Like
parents
you said,
are meeting with
this
her
is
old...
going to be the season of just like passing around the laptop to the next person. Like, is everyone going to touch this laptop at some point?
Yeah, it's Sisterhood of the Traveling Laptop.
Okay, now
Everyone's Gossip Girl this season. Everyone's Gossip Girl this season. The parents are meeting with their old lawyer, Bruce Kaplan. He tells them the only chance they have is if they can prove Cece wasn't of sound mind, but everyone who spoke with Cece said that she was sharp to the end, even with all the gin. And the court will only freeze the assets and overturn the will if they find any wrongdoing on Ivy's point. And Lilith's like, well, she pretended to be my niece. What could be more wrong than that? And Bruce is like, well, it wasn't made out to Charlie Rhodes in the will. She made sure she left everything to Ivy Dickens. So she clearly knew who she was. I do want to know how Cece knew her real name and like when she found this out.
I think we were kind of saying it was during that moment up in the penthouse where Cece was like, "I know audio secrets." And she never really said it, but I think that
Did she also have a copy of Max's old playbill?
Yeah, that must be it. Yeah, and then there must have been some sort of conversation behind, like something that we didn't see out in the Hamptons because she was there for a while.
Yeah, I am curious as to when she started catching on, but we'll never find out because she's dead.
Gone.
So
yeah, not only do I not get a Georgina episode, I also
we heard her voice.
I'm also now in a post Cece era. Like,
yeah,
it's getting rough out here.
She came and went fast.
Yeah, you missed the unceremonious death of Cece.
We hadn't seen her in a long, long time. She came back to us almost like halfway in the grave by the time we saw her again.
Yeah,
when she came on set and they said make her look more dead.
I think she was decomposing in the episode. Honestly.
Yeah. She just showed up like that, and they had to write a death into the episode because there was nothing else they could do.
Yeah,
no one's going to believe that this woman is alive. We just have to. Rufus is looking on the bright side. At least they have enough money and a place to live while they figure this out. But if you think Lily is going to be content living in that dump in Brooklyn, Rufus has another thing coming. So,
where does she go? Like,
Lily also,
where are we going to live? As she's like in a place.
Yes, exactly. Lily, right here. We have a place. Lily also doesn't want to let Ivy win. She can't see a bright side to a con artist living in her home, debasing her mother's memory. She's not debasing Cece's memory. I feel like Cece would be like looking down on this and absolutely loving it.
Oh yeah, she definitely is.
That's exactly what she wanted.
I think is this the scene where they like struggle to turn on the gas on the stove for a second, and then like
that's at the very end.
That's at the end of the episode. Do you have notes?
Yeah.
No.
Brendan.
Famously, Brendan does not have notes.
I really like.
How could you?
That might be my joke of the episode.
Well, we'll get to it. A little teaser. Lily knows that Ivy had to have done something illegal. She just has to find it. And I'm rooting for Ivy. I'm sorry, but I like Ivy, and I think in her heart she's an actual good person, as we've seen. And it's tough to root for a billionaire kicking a poor girl with no family onto the streets.
I'm glad you said it, because that's how I'm feeling, too.
Yeah, she's still annoying, though. I'm sick of Charlie or Ivy now.
How dare you? It is unclear who we're supposed to root for at the end of this episode. Like, they completely...
I think
set
her
her up
to root for Lily and co, but
I guess because they're our girls, like that. This is the people we've been following the whole series, but they still don't seem like doesn't seem.
They
great.
suck.
Yeah.
If you want any kind of compelling, back and forth, you gotta root for Ivy to hold on for a little longer.
Absolutely. Speaking of Ivy, she's struggling finding a decorator as Uncle Billy just lets himself in. She's having trouble finding anyone on the Upper East Side willing to talk to her. What's the point of having all this money if she can't spend it? So Billy thinks he can be of assistance for a percentage of the money, of course. And right away, this billionaire is just asking for money. Ivy, instead of being suspicious, she just lets him know she's like, I'd pay anything to get Lily and Serena to stop blackballing me. But I she should ask why he's offering this to her and like why he's being so suspicious about it.
Yeah, maybe she thinks this is how people become billionaires, is by doing odd jobs like this.
Well, William knows, what the right thing to do is. He hasn't been in that many episodes, but he knows the secret to getting anything done on this show. He says all you have to do is throw a party. And Ivy's confused.
Sure.
She thinks no one will come, but William points out they'll have no choice if it's to honor the Celia Rhodes Cancer Foundation. And again, he says he'll see to it for a healthy fee. Very suspicious. Ivy should be questioning him, but she doesn't. I guess she just doesn't know enough to question.
Yeah.
She's been here for a little bit, but still is she's not been in power very long.
Exactly.
Look, if I'm a 20-something-year-old that just inherited all this stuff, all this money, I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do with myself at 30, let alone, their young ages. So if my Uncle Billy shows up and has some advice for me, I'm going to listen to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess so. I guess she doesn't really have anyone else. He's at least willing to talk to her. Nate has his big investor meeting or whatever, which I was like, yay, this is so interesting. Meeting with investors.
We're back at the Spectator. Hooray.
Yeah, he's explaining what makes them different from the rest of the news. I don't care. But the big shot investor guy notices Serena Vanderwoodson working a desk job here. And he's like, is that Serena from the Society pages? And Nate's like, yeah, her column's one of the most successful columns in the paper. Why does this guy know nothing about the paper, but he wants to be a financial partner?
I don't know. This whole scene was so funny because it was like, hey, let's write a scene about just like general business jargon. Could be any business.
Yeah, he's Serena's like, oh, I'm writing about Ivy Dickens, and he's like, oh, that's the girl that got everything from your grandmother. And Nate keeps pointing out that's like Serena's writing the news from the inside. She's their generation's Dominic Dunn. No idea who that is, but I guess that's impressive.
Pretty good.
And yep. Nate can expect an official offer by tonight, and Nate looks forward to working with him. James sees himself out, and Nate tells Serena that he hopes he's serious because his offer is the only one with the money they need. And he thanks Serena for closing the deal with her Ivy expose. Did she? He didn't seem that excited about it.
I don't think so either.
You did it, Serena. You're a great Ivy. And okay.
Also, why do they need so much money? Aren't they doing well?
I was going to ask later, but yeah, apparently not. Apparently,
yeah. This deal that Serena, it didn't work out because of Serena, like sunk the whole place. Apparently, I don't.
This comes out of nowhere. I mean, I'm not surprised that leaving a 21-year-old in charge of the whole company is not
for months.
Working out financially. But it comes out of nowhere that like all of a sudden they need a financial person to back them. Otherwise, they don't have enough money to keep this place going.
Maybe just because Grandpa left and it's been slowly it's been defunded now. And he was really keeping the ship alive. Maybe they don't make any money. And the only reason why they're alive was because Grandpa kept funneling shit into it.
And what kind of businessman is Nate in the first place if he has only one possible investor that could be considering, investing into this company, this newspaper? And if this goes through with this one guy, it's all over. There's
with all the
nobody
connections
else
he
out
has
there.
too.
It makes no sense. And he's like, "What do you mean we need money to keep this place going? No one told me that.
We're just gonna write funny stories."
Yeah. So. Nate looks at Serena's new laptop because he thinks, that's the story she's writing. But instead, he sees Gossip Girl. He asks if she's back. Serena's like trying to deny it at first. She's like, oh, I guess Gossip Girl's back. I don't know. There's a new post though. Ivy's throwing a party tonight in Cece's honor, and Serena can't believe this girl. She has no shame. Ivy was close with Cece. I don't think she's the right to throw a party as much as anyone else.
Yeah.
Nope.
Doesn't offend Ivy too much. Nate, this is where Nate thinks it's weird that he didn't get the Gossip Girl blast. He's like, I thought she was still on vacation, whatever that means. But like, Nate really should be asking more why Serena got this blast and not him. And Serena's only explanation is like, oh, I just got it now. I'm sure you'll get it soon. Like, is Serena on the VIP list for the blast? Is she a Gossip Girl patron or something? She's getting special
I guess
access.
it was just that like he maybe just didn't have his phone on him, so she's like, I just got it this instant. Yours probably just buzzed over there. Just go fetch.
Yeah, Serena's paying $3 a month
on Patreon.
To get the blast 10 minutes early. Serena's paying $5 a month.
Exclusive Gossip Girl blasts, like
monthly
call-in shows with Gossip Girl.
With her voice disguised, so you didn't know
something.
Gossip Girl would be killing it on Patreon.
The Gossip Girl Discord would be off the rails.
That's where they get all their info.
We'll see. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't explore that more in the reboot. Maybe they do. Maybe. Welcome to the Gossip Girl Patron Show. I'll be taking your calls.
I won't spoil it for Brendan, but I feel like my memory of that was way more along the lines of the Blair and Dan storyline than it was of the newspaper storyline.
For sure. All sex all the time. The Gossip Girl
right. I'm excited about the reboot.
So, Serena is...
Only uncles fucking.
Whoa, jeez. Nate's got to go work on the Jack Bass saving Chuck's life story, and Serena uploads the Ivy Dickens party invitation to Gossip Girl. So it seems like after being the most anti-Gossip Girl character all season, Serena just inherits the laptop and becomes Gossip Girl, no questions asked.
Yeah, she doesn't even struggle with this. There's no back and forth in her head. She's like,
oh, should I do it? Should I not? Just
do it.
laptop? Okay, post it. Yeah, she's the one who has no shame.
I guess she sees a way for it to help her situation.
Yeah.
But
Gossip Girl's bad unless it's helping her.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah. Lola is in the lobby hoping to meet with Dr. Billy, but she sees him walking in with Ivy. So she's going to hide behind some luggage, and she overhears that Ivy is expecting to, or William is expecting to get a check written by Ivy. She hasn't written it yet. She's like, I know not to write until people show up. And that's it. Lola hears the whole conversation, but has no information on what it's about.
I guess just sees or hears Ivy talking about exchanging money.
Yeah,
with the will.
It doesn't even sound that sketchy. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess just knowing the situation, it seems sketchy. The two of them hanging out, knowing that he was the will provider, and
pretty good timing also on Lola's part. Just to
people are filled with she has the timing of Georgina.
It's
all
Lonely
of a
Boys,
sudden.
baby.
Crazy.
So Chuck is he just had an interesting conversation with Nate. The Spectator's doing a story on the hospital dedication, and the reporter did some research on Jack. Apparently, spending more than 3 months in the UK from 1980 to 1996 prohibits you from donating blood in this country, where Jack did in fact do that. And Jack's like, yeah, I lied, just like I lied about taking drugs and sleeping with prostitutes. His words. He just told him what they wanted to hear, so he could save Chuck's life, which seems to satisfy Chuck for the moment, and also just the obvious answers to those questions for Jack to just be like, yeah, I lied.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which I don't. I haven't given a ton of blood recently, but I don't think that would fly.
Lying.
Yeah, there's probably records.
They ask you if you're lying when you lie.
They do.
Brendan, are there records of all the prostitutes you've slept with?
Yes. You're lying.
You seem certain of it. You're lying. So Lola asks Nate how the meeting went. She pretends to be happy for him, but Nate can tell. He's like, you're not happy enough for me. So what's going on here? And
why are you smiling? Smile more.
Come on. Lola wants to ask Nate a rich person question, and Nate goes, I put my extensive knowledge of privilege fully at your disposal. That's how rich people should always answer.
It's pretty funny. I like that.
Yeah. Lola informs Nate that she overheard Ivy telling William that she would give him some money, and since he's the executor of Cece's will, that's sketchy, right? As only a rich person would know, Nate answers that a beneficiary isn't allowed to reward an executor. It would call the entire practice into question. Where did Nate learn all these big words?
That's
He's speaking in complete sentences. He knows about executive.
Yeah, there's certain things he knows about, and she'd happen to hit on one of them. She got very lucky.
I mean, that's why he's this, got this all important role at this company here. He knows what he's talking about.
But yeah, that's what rich people do. They know inheritance better than anyone.
That's true.
That's true. So one thing they know.
Yeah.
So it's like the nighttime stories they get read are not anything that we have ever heard before. It's just reading all of the rules and regulations. The will.
They read people's last wills and testaments. And then when grandma dies, this is what you'll get. This would be grounds to contest the will in court. And when Lola asks if William would do this to his family, Nate should have been like, well, he did give Lily fake cancer once, so I wouldn't put anything by Uncle Billy. But Nate thinks Lola has to tell Serena, but she's like, I got to think about it. Whatever you do, just don't tell Serena. And the very next time we see Nate, he will be telling Serena.
You mean you see the look on his face? He's like,
I gotta tell her. Lily's looking for the jewelry that mother left her. I like that she's like, I have to find this jewelry to honor Cece. Not so to remember her by, but so she tells Rufus so that everyone can remember who her true daughter is. That's why she wants to find the jewelry that Cece left her.
She's getting a little insecure over there. I mean,
yeah.
Again,
I feel like if she was just a little more pleasant to Ivy, then none of this would have happened.
That's what she wants to. As crazy as Ivy seems in this moment, she just wants to be friends with everybody that was friends with her before.
Yeah, just call me your daughter, and I'll get out of your penthouse.
But I'll still live here. But
I mean, I'll go back to my bedroom, but you can live here too.
Yeah.
So Rufus isn't going to the party. Apparently, he's going to the Magnetic Fields concert. I'm not familiar with the great work of the Magnetic Fields, but is Rufus just going to this concert by himself?
Of course he is.
I think so, yeah. He's got to make connections.
Where's Jenny these days? Can she meet him there?
She should. I mean, there's no reason she shouldn't. I mean, she might be touring the world as a famous fashion designer or whatever she's up
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
but
Okay.
you know. Um, so Rufus says that he got. Don't worry, I know we need some privacy, so I got a hotel room. And Lily's pumped. She's like, oh, and then once we realize that the hotel room is so much better than this dump, we could always extend. And and Lily goes to pack, but Rufus is like, no, you don't need any more stress. That's why I got the room for Dan. And not only does Rufus intentionally not do what his wife wants, but also he's just decided to give his son like a fuck room for the night.
It's weird. It's a weird thing to do.
Here you go, Dan. I put you and Blair want to be
21 years old, and
Yeah.
parents won't leave the house.
Yeah.
He gets it.
Son, I saw how horny you were. I saw that dress, and boy, I wish I could be in the room with you.
Maybe me and Lily can do some fucking of our own when you guys get out.
I'll tag you out.
If not, I'll live through yours.
Dan and Blair are in the hotel room. They have entered separately, so no one would see them together. As if people saw them both just suspiciously entering a hotel room like 5 minutes apart, they wouldn't put the pieces together. But Dan's closing the blinds, no distractions, no family or friends, and they are going to start going at it. And we cut to post-coitus, and it looks like they've had the worst time of their life. The only thing they can say is wow. Yeah, one word's all you need, really.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I that's my experience as well.
What's the one word you usually say?
They go,
It's that classic scene where they wake up, or maybe not wake up. It doesn't
They
look
wake
like
up, yeah. They went to sleep afterwards.
but laying in bed, both people are under the covers, but their hands on the blanket to just cover up whatever, to show you what's going on. But usually, I guess when it goes well, they're still giving you a lot of
yeah, right, like they finished, and it was like
right. But this
It
is
was so
just
bad,
like
the
dead
heart rate didn't go up at
silence,
all.
nothing, no, not a peep, not a
You may be
breath.
right. They may have fallen asleep. That could be what.
I think
Yeah.
it would be hysterical if humans have like narcoleptic episodes as soon as they both finish. They fall asleep
Finish, yeah.
for 8 hours the second that they're done finishing.
The scene. I mean, this shot here is like it's shot exactly like the Seth and Summer after their first time scene where they had unpleasant sex as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But that
so
was
I
way
don't know
better.
why-
Than this.
Alert.
Way better than this.
I mean, yeah, Seth and Summer.
Seth and Summer.
I don't know why I'm taking so much glee in Blair and Dan's suffering, but I just don't like this couple together. So it's like, yeah, fuck you guys. Your sex sucked.
But I don't know if I would have been more mad if it just stayed bad and they broke up like this episode. That would have been so stupid for them to get together.
would have been a
in the first
crazy
place.
way to break them.
Also, like, I mean,
I guess we can't have sex. All right.
Yeah, like they're both hot. They're both horny as hell right now. But like if they wanted to do it, they should have just done it while the sirens were going off, or the time before that, or the time before that. They put so much pressure on this
Yeah.
to be perfect,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, they finally get the moment, and they're like expecting literal fireworks in the room with them, and
Sure.
nope, nothing.
Yeah. I mean, they both have to go to that horrible Ivy party tonight. So Blair's like, oh, that must have been the reason we finished in such a timely fashion.
Yes.
I think, yes. Have you ever sped things up because you had a family party that night?
Especially
usually-
one for a charity event for somebody that's passed.
If there's charity involved, I
a
gotta
couple
get
days
in and out real fast. I'm usually speeding up
So-
before the podcast. I'm always like, if it's starting at 10 o'clock,
Yep.
I
Here we go.
start around 9:50.
Yeah. usually that's too much time.
All right.
So Blair awkwardly leaves, and like I am reveling in this, but seriously, how bad could it have been? It's not like neither one of them didn't know what they were doing. Like
Because when we get to go back to the Seth and Summer stuff, they kind of gave you a little bit of examples of like what was going wrong, and it was very comical to hear what was happening. It sounded very acrobatic in a funny way. This we get nothing.
I mean, like to quote Confucius, "Sex is like pizza. Even when it's bad, it's still pretty damn good."
Yeah.
Also, like what you can certainly conclude from this is that nothing happened for Blair. We know that for sure. She
yeah.
was not. She got nothing out of this.
Did
Dan,
not fall asleep.
I'm going to guess, did get something out of this, but they make it sound like stereotypical. Like, oh, it was just so quick, whatever.
Yes.
Like 60 seconds, like not even. I don't know. So if they're just talking about the length of how long this lasted for them, understandably disappointed on that end of things. But the way that they make it sound like Dan threw up on her or something in the midst of all this, I don't know.
I also think it was very like the way they said boring made it seem like it was just straight up missionary and just like rhythm
pumps, done.
thrusts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chuck is at the hospital. The lady at the desk can't find his file. Apparently, all of his records are missing. So Chuck's like, all right, well, then just give me Jack Bass's file instead. And she's like, yeah, I can't do that. That's not how it works. And so,
It's like, okay, so you leave and I'll use your computer.
yes. Well, Chuck explains, he's like, I was just hoping to mention Jack when I dedicate the new wing in his honor, and because he gave me blood, and even though this lady
I want
can't
to mention
discuss
his blood
someone
type
else's
in my
art,
speech.
yeah, she does decide to give Chuck the most suspicious. Oh, he's the one who gave you blood? Like, she's nailing it. Nothing suspicious about that.
Yeah.
And Chuck's like, I'd like to speak with Director Brancolini while I'm here. So the woman goes to get Brancolini and leaves her computer completely unlocked and unguarded in the era where we know passwords don't exist. While she knows that Chuck wants to snoop around for something. Again, nailing it. This lady, she's doing a great job. And Chuck opens Jack's file and sees right away that he has hepatitis C and he is in all caps unacceptable blood donor.
I'm amazed at how adept Chuck is at health systems. It's amazing how easily he's able to sift through this and find exactly what he needs in 15 seconds.
Control F Hep C, I think is what you want to do.
Joe Left
Are we all familiar with The Big Fat Liar?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that movie.
Paul
movie many
Giamatti?
times.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
yeah. I watched it 7 times in a day.
The scene
once.
made me think of Amanda Bynes. Your car's parked on a dog. And then the woman starts hysterically crying, running out to her car, and then Amanda Bynes gets to go sit on the computer and do the same kind of thing. I
Classic.
think.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, that's what
the same thing.
callback I had here. Yeah, it's the same.
One of the
exact
great
thing.
movies, screw the holdovers. Paul Giamatti should have won an
Yeah.
Oscar for Big Fat Liar.
Now we're talking.
It was blue, for God's sake.
It's blue.
Yeah.
Blue.
Your car's
Nate
parked
betrays.
on a dog.
And we should do a Big Fat Liar rewatch.
I
Know,
will.
One of my
That's
all-time
how Matt
favorites.
Liguori joins the Seven Timers Club. Nate betrays Lola's trust immediately. He tells Serena right away what Lola told him, and he thought Serena deserved to know. And he says, I thought you deserved to know this way Lola's not in the middle of anything. Which, what do you mean? You just put Lola in the middle of it. You said, this is what Lola told me. This is what Lola saw. He's like, oh, good thing Serena knows now, so Lola's not in the middle of it. But all right.
Yeah. This whole situation should have pushed Lola further out of this family. She was already on the fence, and this would have made me
should have.
more mad. I would have
It looks like it is, but yeah, Serena doesn't even believe it. Now she's mad that Lola is accusing her dad of taking bribes. Instead of being happy that there's something she can contest the will with, she's like, how dare Lola attack my perfect father who gave my mom fake cancer.
I still don't know why she's not mad at Billy for this. This is crazy.
Yeah. And Lola wasn't even accusing him. She was just saying what she saw. She's like, I don't know what I saw, but this is what I saw. Yeah.
Give me the facts.
Whatever. So, he's like, yeah, she must have heard wrong because, my dad would never do that. Are we thinking of the same Uncle Billy? Like, you know what your dad, whatever.
She's not a man of character.
Serena's an idiot. There's nothing more to say there. So it's like, don't worry, we won't. I'm not gonna, write a story about it until we confirm it. Which good to know that the Spectator isn't just writing every piece of unconfirmed gossip they hear. But Serena's like, what do you mean you? This is my story. And Nate says that she's too close to it, so she can't do it. And so Serena responds to that by saying, okay, I'll just post about it on Gossip Girl. I'll pre-upload it for 8 p.m. and that'll show him.
Yeah, so I won't do my work. I'll just do this other side work that was given to me by Georgina.
Yeah.
Priorities.
He's like, well, if Nate's not going to let me write about it in The Spectator, I'll just anonymously write about it on Gossip Girl.
Yeah, and then be frustrated when I get fired later and be confused about it.
I mean, what also sets her off on this is that Uncle Billy, I think, calls her here now, and she informs Serena that there is going to be that party hosted by Ivy tonight at 7:30, and now Serena's pissed. She's like, what's going on? Why are they going to a party thrown by Ivy? And I feel like because William informs Lily, who's now apparently with him in the loft, that Serena's going to come, and I feel like if these masterminds, wanted this to work, they probably should have filled Serena in on it so she doesn't do something stupid like she does.
Right. Yeah, because she would have been on board if she was let in the plan.
Right. They're like, all we need now is for Ivy to write the check. Our proof she's engaging in illegal activity, the court will have to agree to hear our case. The only thing that can happen is for Serena to do something stupid to blow this whole thing up.
This whole Serena episode is just so on the nose for her. This is like a masterclass of Serena.
Masterclass of Serena, yes. Yes, and she like we said, she pre-uploads the Gossip Girl blast. You can steal money, but you can't steal class. Looks like Ivy's finally poisoned what little remained of her goodwill. Last I heard, it was illegal to bribe an executor. And then she sets the upload for today at 8 p.m. Dumbass.
I just did that right before we got on. I set a podcast to be uploaded tomorrow at midnight, I think.
Oh.
So you could say I'm the Serena of
Anytime you
challenge
schedule a podcast.
Yeah.
And I often do. Yeah, so
You gotta get to a charity
From-
instead.
But yeah.
So Blair visits Dorota in Queens to talk about how bad the sex was with Dan, while Dan is stopping at Nate's office to talk about, how bad the sex was with Blair. I like that Nate, because Dan comes in, he's like, "We got to get drunk," and Nate asks if the sudden onset alcoholism has anything to do with Blair, and he knows immediately. He's like, "The sex was bad, wasn't it?" and then I like that Dan hears this and immediately like pounces, like, "Oh, it happened to you too? Good, it must be her then." Like, Dan,
Nate's like, "Come here, big boy. I'll show you what it's supposed to be like."
Yeah, I'll show you. I got a larger package for you. He's like, what? We weren't talking about packages.
that wasn't us. That was Chuck and Jack. He's like, "Oh, my bad.
Just show me what you did. Show me how you tried it.
Yeah.
I'll give you some pointers."
Show me what that thing do.
So Dan and Nate are going to get drunk. Blair is also going to get drunk with Dorota. They both feel the need to get drunk after this terrible sexual performance.
Dorota with the hair
And-
down. You notice this?
I did, yeah, because she's off the
Dorota
clock
looking good.
When
for
did you have
once.
the baby?
I didn't.
think off air.
Apparently, very recently. Yeah, I think it was off air. I think that is why we are led to believe that Dorota is not. I guess she's on maternity leave. I didn't know that Dorota
Okay, so
had off
she's
days, but yeah,
relaxing. Yeah.
yeah. So Blair informs Dorota that the problem wasn't the man, it was the deed. And then at the same time, Dan is also explaining that he didn't have any technical difficulties. It was just inexplicably terrible. And Nate's like, yeah, it's a classic case of Dan Humphrey overthink. And so they both also find out, Nate and Dorota find out that neither one of Blair nor Dan has told the other that the sex was not great. And I love that dumb Nate is like acting as the wise man. Like, he's stupid when it comes to everything except for inheritances and sex.
he's having a
Great episode for Nate. Like, he's like, "Oh man, my specialties. Everyone's coming to me."
I think that's why he fired Serena. He was just on his high horse all day. He's
If only I knew how to run a paper. If only I knew how to run a paper, I wouldn't be struggling for money right now. So Blair didn't want to be impolite and upset Dan, but Dorota's like, "This is only the beginning of being upset if you don't say anything." And Dorota reveals that it took honest communication to turn Vanya from a boy to a man in the bedroom. Good to know.
Interesting. Yeah, it was fun to be like, oh, okay, so she can turn anyone into a man. It seems.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, and Blair's like, "I'm gonna need another drink to forget about
Also, like to hear
Vanya's hog imagery."
to hear Dorota talk about this in general.
Yeah, so Dan and Blair just keep drinking. They're going to get pretty drunk, and we go to the event of the week, Ivy's party, of course. Ivy is taking a picture with a random old man who is swearing, "We're only good friends, we're only good friends." Apparently, this is someone named Dick Cavett. Don't know who this man is, but apparently he is someone of note.
Why was he
Her
saying
latest
that?
Gossip Girl cameo.
Was he grabbing something we couldn't see?
I think he was like joking that there would be rumors that they're dating, and so he's like, "Oh, we're just good friends,
okay.
we're just good friends," you know?
Maybe
You know,
the
old
actor
man.
or somebody important. I don't know, but like this feels
Yeah,
like the time in the show where they can just like plop in, random cameos from
Oh, yeah.
people. Yeah,
He's definitely someone random who we're supposed to know, but I do not know who.
Yeah.
Who
I'd
Dick
say
Cavett is.
I know 1 out of 20 cameos in this show.
Yeah.
a good ratio. That's fair enough.
And that one was Ivanka Trump.
Yeah, and Billy Baldwin, but he's been here before.
Not much of a cameo when
I
you're
guess
a recurring
it's-
character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
So Lily arrives, immediately judging the red wine at a cocktail party. Ivy's like, "What's wrong with that?" And Lily explains that you don't serve red when people are moving around. I'm learning so much from Lily.
But I love her reaction to it before she even talks to Ivy about it. She's like, red wine.
Red wine. What an
She's-
idiot. What an idiot.
So catty. What an idiot.
Ivy trusts her guest not to spill, and she thanks Lily for coming. Lily says she wouldn't miss a chance to honor her mother, and Ivy tells her that her too. She knows that Cece would want them to be close, so she's using Cece to try and get Lily to talk to her again. And she reminisces about their wonderful relationship, and Lily points out that it was under false pretenses, and Ivy's really trying. I think she needs to give it up, unless for whatever reason
Yeah.
Lily decides to come around on the idea. Like, you can't be the villain and the person who has a loving mother-daughter relationship. It just doesn't work that way.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I would be like
I'm
kinda
stealing your house,
scared.
but let's be friends.
I'd
Come
be-
on, you're my mom.
She'd be scaring me. I'd be afraid of Ivy if I were Lily.
Mothers fight sometimes. I'm stealing your
Play
house.
Megan.
Come on.
She could have played Megan, Ivy, or the actress.
Who's
The
Megan?
doll.
The doll.
Oh. Sorry, I know I was M3.
See, Ivy start doing the Megan dance.
Cece would want us to be close, and she just starts dancing.
Honestly,
like-
I see Georgina more as a Megan type.
I didn't think I had to
for
explain
sure.
it because I thought
I'm
Gagan
sorry,
was
I
one of
didn't-
like the people on the ground with
I,
Megan.
I wasn't connecting the dots between.
I'm
between
your Megan guy, Liguori.
and Ivy Dickens. I'm sorry. It's,
I thought it was right there for you, but okay.
Jack meets Chuck at the ribbon cutting. The only person going to the ribbon cutting here, and the first thing he does is ask, "Since when do ribbon cuttings involve crippled kids?" Right in front of a kid in a wheelchair. And he
Sorry,
goes,
kid.
Sorry, kid. But let's face it, you're crippled. This is our hero, Jack. Michael goes to shake Jack's hand, and Jack goes, "Don't touch me." Like, okay, so now he's gone so evil that it's funny again. I feel like
think so.
he needs to be cartoonish
It is
evil if we're gonna
cartoonish. Yeah.
like him at all.
The don't touch me
After,
solidified it.
Yeah, after hearing about Michael's leukemia, Chuck has decided that a blood drive would be more symbolic of Jack's heroism than a simple ribbon cutting. So at first, I didn't realize this was an actor. I was like, Chuck is using this poor sick kid to try and prove something with Jack.
Yeah,
I was like, he's making this kid think he's going to get a blood transfusion when he knows that Jack has Hep C.
I don't know which one's more
This is
evil.
terrible. This is terrible.
Yeah. I was like to make this to help our listeners relate to the scene more. Our good friend Sanchez, I think, is a Jack here in this scenario. I think he would treat this kid the exact same way.
I mean, we know how he treated Priscilla when he saw her
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
sprawled
thinking
out on the
of.
ground. Yeah, it's some Lindenhurst humor for everyone involved.
We haven't done it in a while. I haven't had a Lindenhurst
I was so
guest on
close
it.
to being like within this world of understanding all the Lindenhurst humor,
Yeah.
but I was like 2 towns over. I missed it.
You just missed it.
I know, you're so close,
Yeah.
so close. So Jack drops the charade immediately. He's like, I can't give that kid my blood. Go away. And Chuck looks so pleased that the kid with leukemia isn't getting any blood. He thanks Michael and tells him to tell his agent that his check's in the mail. I was like, thank God he was just an actor. What a wild scene.
He scurries off.
This was the only funny scene in the episode.
Yeah, it was good. It was funny. Jack also, I don't know if you guys realize this, but I think Jack looks like he has had some work done or something.
He looks very different. Yeah,
Looks
he
very
looks like
different.
I thought he looks like he's like starving himself. He looks like he's fading away.
Yeah. It's
Like
got,
his
more defined jawlines.
his face looked very thin. I think that's
He's on that
most of
uncle
everyone
diet.
got that.
Yeah, the uncle
He's
diet.
on the uncle diet. Yeah, eating a
What's
lot
up
of
with that
Hep
consist
C.
Just Costco hot dogs.
And I love this exchange too, where Jack asks Chuck, "You played me with a fake kid," and Chuck explains, "The kid's real, but he's not sick." As if
Touche,
it was
touche.
just a fake
Clarification,
kid.
yeah.
They could be
That-
the boy version of a Megan robot.
That was my joke of the episode. This is all so absurd. So Chuck calls out Jack's hepatitis, and since Chuck doesn't have it, he knows that Jack didn't give him blood, and Jack seems concerned that this is the end of the Jack Bass Hospital wing, but Chuck is more concerned about knowing the truth. So we do not know yet. We get perhaps an answer by the end of the episode, but we don't know right now who gave Chuck his blood.
Yeah.
Was he getting like a new? Were they building a new wing in addition to the hospital, or are they just like taking
I
one
think
sort
they
of
were just
bare name?
I think they did
Yeah.
construction on it, renamed it after it was done, and
Okay, so they might have spruced it up a little bit at least.
yeah,
Maybe.
just like
Bad
Jack
time.
Bass's face.
Yeah.
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 Just a large picture of Jack Bass's face on every door.
Yeah,
Back to Ivy's party. Uncle Billy is here. He thinks Ivy's having a stellar debut, and Ivy says she'll write him his check right after she talks to Lauren Santo Domingo. And so still no check from Ivy yet. They still have to wait to catch her in the act. Serena's also here, and she asks Lily how she's holding up. And Lily is feeling tortured that Florida trash has taken over her home, but it'll all be over soon. And now she explains that Ivy offered Dr. Billy a bribe, and luckily, Dr. Billy thought quickly and accepted it, knowing it was the ammunition they needed, which is not what happened. This was a setup from the beginning, but
Yeah.
he'll be removed as executor, but he's willing to make the sacrifice. Why do they still need an executor of the will? The will was already read. I guess I don't know how this works. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what.
We need
What
Nate
is
to
his
explain it to us
role
about what's
exactly?
going on.
Like-
phone.
Yeah, yes, I don't understand.
It's
Like,
funny.
yeah.
Nate, explain this to me, please.
Sex or wills? What are we talking about?
Which one? Yeah, they
Our
feel-
new
they feel
favorite game
just-
show, hosted by Nate Archibald. Sex or wills?
If you could host, they feel justified in setting up Ivy because like, well, she must have done something illegal, so let's just catch her in something illegal that we're going to set her up.
So let's just make her do something illegal because we know she's going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's catch her for something that she didn't do,
right?
Because she did something else.
Yes. So Serena thinks this is amazing and asks what she's waiting for, but Ivy hasn't written William the check yet, but hopefully it'll be any minute. And Lily instructs Serena, whatever you do, just don't say anything because we don't want to spook her. And, right away I'm like, well, Serena can't be trusted. I had already forgotten that she preloaded the blast. I was like, well, Serena can't be trusted with this. She's going to tell everyone. But it is, now she looks at her phone. It's 7:56, and Serena just realized she has an 8 o'clock deadline. The scheduled Gossip Girl blast, of course. She has 4 whole minutes. All she needs to do is get to her room,
funny.
open the laptop, and cancel it. And she's going to fuck this up. I don't know how this is. She's 4 whole minutes.
No matter who talks to you, just tell them to get out of the way and say, I have to take a shit right now. Or just say anything.
Yeah. Sorry, Dick Cavett. Get the fuck out of my way.
How did she let this happen?
It's
she really
crazy,
botches this play here.
Really bad.
Like, why does it have to be on the laptop or a computer? Like, she has her phone. This isn't.
She's a smartphone. Yeah.
Literally, I saw the iPhone. I saw that. This is 2012. We're not in some kind of age where you can't just pull this up on your phone and cancel it.
Yeah, I don't think she has the like the Spotify for podcasters app like equivalent of Gossip Girl on her phone though.
She doesn't have the Gossip Girl app? Come on.
I don't know.
I mean, we've been there where we want it to be on a desktop and you just have to make it work on a phone.
Yeah.
Or whatever that may be. But
that's true.
Right. So Serena is going to find her laptop, and she's interrupted by old man Dick Cavett and stops to talk to him, even though she knows she's in a hurry. And the old man tells Serena she looks like $1 million before taxes. You know how rich people compliment. And also growls at her like a weirdo. He does the.
This is what you stop to do. You stop to let an old man catcall you.
Yes. Serena seems to be eating it up though, and then. After he growls at Serena, he gets randomly serious and tells Serena he's so sorry to hear about her grandmother's passing. The tone shift was so wild. He's like, yes, you 20-year-old, you're so hot. You look great. I'm so sorry to hear about your grandmother's dead. Oh, but your grandma's dead.
She's so dead, but you look so good. But she's still so dead.
Let's just talk about it for another 4 minutes if you don't mind. Blair sees Dan in the lobby. They're both worried because the bad sex. And Blair suggests going upstairs since there's nothing to talk about it. Dan agrees. He hopes there's a full bar. They're both very noticeably drunk here. Now it's 7:59. And Serena is still talking to this old man. He's begging her to go easier on her and her column from now on. What is she doing? Make an excuse 3 minutes ago. How has she been talking to this guy for 3 minutes?
But also, let's be real. 7:59. She's not getting to the computer in time.
Done. Yeah.
7:57. She may not even log on in time. Honestly, she doesn't even know if the computer's there. She thinks that Ivy might have taken the computer apart in the time since all this has started to go down. So
she should be trying. This is crazy.
That could have been the big reveal at the end of this episode. She gets into the room and there was no computer anyway. She was screwed from the start.
Well, we are in the business of writing better episodes than what we watched. Right?
Yeah.
So. Serena finally says, at 7:59 and 45 seconds that she can't miss this deadline, and she leaves the conversation. Now Lola sees Serena and wants to talk about Ivy, and normally Serena would love to shit talk Ivy, but this is not a really good time. She has to do something before 8, and just as she says that, the clock strikes 8, and everyone gets the Gossip Girl blast at the same time. No one got it first. No one patrons didn't get it first. And even Lola gets it, who I guess is a Gossip Girl user now, even though she hadn't heard of her last week. But everyone gets the blast that Ivy is bribing an executor before she has had the chance to do so. And Lola's like, oh, that's what I wanted to tell you. I guess Gossip Girl got to it first. And Serena's like, yeah. And she ruined everything. Like, Serena, you ruined everything. And I'm not even talking about by preloading the blast. The fact that she couldn't cancel the blast with 4 minutes to do so is unforgivable.
Right. Because she wrote it. Not realize what she was doing. Once she realized, she had a pretty good opportunity to.
I wish we could have gotten the reveal that old man Dick was paid for by Georgina to sabotage this or something.
There should have been a better obstacle than just Serena is enjoying small talk
with this man who's catcalling her. This 80-year-old man. Why is he at the party?
Because he's a cool, awesome night.
I mean, I guess he was. Yeah, I guess he was friends with Cece.
I wonder if because they were standing right by the elevator, maybe she heard what was going down in the elevator and she was like, actually, this is more important. I'm going to stand here and listen because I think I know who that is.
That sounds like
not Serena. To keep developing a better episode, but
yeah. So Ivy's upset. She confronts Lily about coming to only humiliate her with more of her lies, and she claims that she didn't bribe William. And William steps in and is like, "You tried to. You said you'd pay me to get people to attend the party." And Ivy's like, "Because you offered." And then she realizes this is all a setup. But also, how is paying him to get people to attend a party a bribe that has any relation to the will?
It doesn't, but I guess they would paint a picture that it did because he happened to be the, what do they call it again? I keep forgetting the word for this.
Executor.
I need Nate. I guess because he acted as executor once, they can never exchange money, the two of them, ever again.
Right, because he is always once the executor, always the executor. He can't take money. Right, but yeah, I guess he should be. But he said he's like, you were gonna pay me to get people to attend the party. He's not like pretending. He's not like gaslighting her into being like, you were gonna give me money to bribe me. He's like telling her the truth about what happened.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whatever. Whatever. So Lily again accuses Ivy of being the one responsible for a setup with whatever she did to manipulate her mother. As if Cece could be manipulated by someone. Come on, she was the only one not getting manipulated by Ivy.
I mean, she's the mother of Lily, the one who pulls the strings.
She is. That's what the one who pulls the strings. So Serena has screwed everything up. Wow.
Sorry.
And
I was hoping you wouldn't hear
now since Serena has screwed everything up, she's begging Lola to come forward and tell everyone what she saw because she's the only proof they have now. And Lola is hesitant.
Oh, you just went silent. You pulled your string too hard.
Lola has screwed everything up? No, Serena has screwed everything up.
Serena has, yes.
For all of us.
You're back.
I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I just disconnected. But we'll just jump right into it.
We also
Right
can't see you. I can't see you.
Oh yeah, I guess I can turn my camera back on now that I'm back.
We're the video boys.
Right.
We're back to the video. Boys.
And Brendan will of course edit all this out in post. So Lola is hesitant to come forward with anything because from what she saw, William was clearly in on it. And Serena's like, yeah, but he only agreed to it to prove that Ivy was defrauding people. And then I don't know what she's doing here, but she's like, and I didn't know that's what he was doing either. That's why I sent in the tip to Gossip Girl. And she tells Lola that, she has to fix what Serena screwed up. And this is her chance to save our family. And Lola's like, stop saying our family. I don't know if I want to be a part of your family. And Serena is like, is that how you feel or how your mother wants you to feel? And like, how would any of this make Lola feel good about what's going on
Yeah,
here?
and why are you giving her shit? This is all your fault, Serena.
Yes, you have to save our family because I fucked up. No, she doesn't.
No. Lois made it clear to this point that she doesn't know who you are.
And Serena's just grasping at straws. She's like, this is what Carol wants. She wants you to think that we don't love you. And Lola is offended. She wants to know, because Serena also mentions her father. She's like, she also hid your father from you. Lola wants to know what the hell her father has to do with anything. And Serena's like, because without your father and without Carol, we're the only family you have left. Is that supposed to make her feel better? Like, what?
She lived her whole life without family.
Yeah, she should have tried relating to her instead of being like, listen, you're stuck with us now. Like, she should have been like, listen, I know what not having a dad is like. I had to ride a horse to get him to show up. Like, me and you, we're the same. But instead she lays on the guilt trip and tells Lola that, her stupid family really needs her right now.
Yeah, it's your job to get your family back together, even though you just met them like last week.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what she's saying. Yep. Dan and Blair are so drunk on the elevator they don't even realize it's not moving, and
it's moving.
They know, well, it's about to be. They know there's avoiding something because of how drunk they are, and Blair admits to not being 100% honest. Her wow after sex meant that it was terrible, and Dan adds that it was mind-numbingly boring. And Blair calls it the least sexy thing since Courtney Stodden. I don't know who that was either, but Dan's like, I don't know who that is, but it was much worse than that.
We're on the same page.
So Blair wants to know if their chemistry is purely intellectual, and he wants her to know that before they break up, that she was really good inside of his head. Very romantic.
Is he saying that like when he uses her as like jack off material in his head?
Yeah,
I mean, I think he's saying that like the only reason he was able to finish is because at least in his head,
he thought about her.
It was going better than it was.
Yeah. Blair's offended. She's really good out of his head too, and to prove it, she hits the emergency button on the elevator and shuts it down. So they're gonna have sex in the elevator.
Classic.
Nice. Then
Sex
they
in the
play,
elevator,
they play the Aerosmith song.
Living it up as I go in down.
Missed opportunity on their part, honestly. Like, that's what the song is about. Like, that's like very cut and dry.
Yeah. Jack and Chuck are discussing over a game of pool. Jack considers himself the Magic Johnson of Hep C. Very inspiring on his part. Chuck wants to know why he didn't tell him the truth, because they both know if he wanted a hospital wing, he could just buy one. And Chuck is smart enough to see that Jack is covering for who actually gave Chuck the blood, Elizabeth. And Jack is... Good gasp. Jack is quiet for a few seconds before telling Chuck that she didn't want him to know, especially after she told him she wasn't his mother. And then Chuck realizes that this proves otherwise after all, and he wants to thank her. So we have two revelations here. Our old friend Elizabeth, who we love, gave Chuck the blood. And perhaps more importantly, this seems to confirm that she is, in fact, Chuck's mother. Mind blown?
Mind equals blown, baby.
I heard the gasp.
This is so funny how they... Whoa.
My camera fell.
Mind blown. Well, check this out. Oh, shit.
You can vamp while I...
No, it is so funny that this is revealed to Chuck, and he's like, huh, so she is my mother. All right. It just moves on. Every reveal, the past few episodes, is just like meant to be underwhelming to these characters. Oh, grandma's dying? That's sad.
There's maybe too many reveals at a certain point. I don't know.
Maybe.
So, say like, go 2 more seconds while I turn this camera on.
Yeah, and so I don't know if Jack was involved in this Elizabeth thing, like if the two of them had been talking or what was going on, but Jack, I guess, was covering for her.
Yes. So the Vanderwoodsons are leaving their old home. Before they go, Ivy asks if she should get security to escort them out, which I was like, there we go. Lean into being the villain, Ivy. Like, you hate these people. They hate you. That's what it is. You just have to be rude to them.
Yeah. I think you seem more insane if you're trying to be nice to these people that hate you.
Yes. Lily assures Ivy that they'll be back because this is their home, but Ivy tells them not anymore. So we find out, soon here that, I guess they're going to be contesting the will and freezing her assets and everything, but she still does have the home. When do you think Lily will get her home back? Or do you think Ivy and the penthouse are endgame?
I want to say she'll get her home back within the next couple episodes. I don't know how. It's also funny that her assets are frozen like immediately to a point where she can't pay the invoice for the party she just had. Like, how did they get that done that fast?
Yeah, I don't know how this works. We might need to get Nate in on here to explain how this works. But yeah, it's so crazy. But so Knight made Ivy see why Cece left it all to her. She says, "You're so selfish that you couldn't even honor her for an hour. I cared about her. All you care about is ruining me with your lies." And she's right. I love a villain with a point. She's not incorrect with anything she's saying. They do not give a shit about honoring, their dead mother. They just want what's theirs to be back.
She really calls them out. She makes them look like the greedy Upper East Siders that they are. But those are the people that we love.
Don't worry, because Lola comes out of the woodwork to say it's not a lie. She heard Ivy offering to pay William herself, and it's like, yeah, you did, but she was entrapped, and it wasn't even about the will. So what's her point? Like, she's so willing to stretch the truth because she randomly loves her family now. Like, what happened?
She loves them. They are everything to her.
They always have been.
Since I don't have a dad, I have to love this terrible family.
Are we missing a deleted scene?
Yeah, because we turned her around. Serena was nothing but rude to her, and she's like,
was Serena.
She said all the wrong things.
I mean, I agree with you, but
Lola looked like deterred from this
worked.
whole thing after talking to Serena. She didn't look like you know what? She's got a point. That's not how she came out of that conversation.
Right. So Lily's excited because that's exactly the proof they need. Ivy tries to explain to Lola that they're setting her up, and she wouldn't do that. But all Lola knows is what she saw. So Lily's going to call her lawyers to contest the will immediately. But Ivy, she's like, you don't have a case. I didn't do anything wrong. And William's like, the court will decide that. But in the meantime, your assets will be frozen. Like,
and he hit a button to make it happen immediately.
Like, how did William have the power to do? Like, how can William just say for certain your assets will be frozen in the meantime, starting now? Like, come on. As the executor of the will, I have the power to immediately freeze your assets.
Lola's biggest mistake in getting shacked up with these people is that she is not going to finish that degree at Juilliard. There's no chance. She's never going to class again. There's no time.
Time to go to school in this show. She's never going to see a classroom again.
No.
Serena mumbles a thank you for Lola. I am having trouble to see how we're supposed to root for the Vanderwoodsons here. Like, are they still supposed to be the good guys? Because I think they suck. Like, are we supposed to be reveling in Ivy getting got here because they set her up? Like, even though she's pointing out that even Cece was able to see that she is the good person and her family are like the materialistic monsters, as Carol calls them. Right. But we're supposed to be like, yeah, they got her. Fuck Ivy. Woo.
I don't know. I
they're
guess
main
so.
characters.
I think.
I mean, I get when you're
feeling that way.
Yeah, when you're looking at it from a much more practical standpoint and doing a podcast about the show, I think for sure you can see through the BS and say, okay, they're not in the right here just because they're presented as in the right.
Right.
But if I'm just watching this show in 2012, I'm like, yeah, good for them. Good for my favorite
Yeah.
television family getting one over on her.
Yeah, maybe it is just because we are such talented podcasters, but I feel like they're not.
Yes.
They're doing a bad job presenting our protagonists as rootable.
Yeah, I think even just watching it, Lily seems evil here.
Yeah. So it's ambiguous at best, but Ivy can't believe Lola's taking their side.
I just
she
want
says
to
they're
make
just
clear that
using
evil
her.
looks good on Lily, by the way.
Well, of course, everything looks good on
Yeah.
Lily.
Okay. Thanks. Same page.
After they're done with Lola, they'll throw her aside just like they did me. But Lola is confident that they won't because they're my family. And I guess we're supposed to say
Wow.
aw here, but I wouldn't even be so sure for Lola. Like I feel like once they don't need her anymore, if she does something wrong, they will cast her aside, like they did with Carol.
Yeah, completely right.
I don't know, I'm getting upset at this episode.
This was it was always it was bullshit. I was getting mad at all the Dan and Blair stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then this was
I just feel like
this episode became a joke officially in this moment.
I feel like this welcome to the family Lola moment is not earned at all.
They want people to be cheering, and it's just they're jeering.
You know,
Lola's
I'm starting to
here.
wonder if the person who was supposed to be on this episode as a guest just didn't like the episode after they watched it
Maybe
and
that
said,
was
you know what?
You know what? I'm actually not that busy, but
We
I
got to do
can't
something about this.
I
I'm not
mean, joke's
doing
on
it.
her because she'll be back in season 6, where I don't think
It's not gonna get better.
maybe it'll be a randomly good one. But I guess Blair and Dan never made it to the party because they're in a taxi now, and Dan thinks that this proves that sometimes you have to throw away the first pancake. Spoken like
I
Rufus'
like that
son.
analogy. It's very, very funny.
Only Rufus
Yeah,
is
it's
bloodline would
perfect.
say something like
Or
that.
Rufus would be mad that he'd reference pancakes and
Not a waffle.
yeah.
Instead of waffle, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, Rufus would never throw out any waffles. That's probably the problem.
That's true too. Yeah, you're making great points. Brendan just arguing with himself about what
This is one of
Rufus would
my.
do.
Is it
Awful
like Nate
situations.
has the will, and he's got sex. I have breakfast foods. This is my specialty.
So Blair agrees that this afternoon was an anomaly, even though they've now only had one good sexual experience, but and they were wasted in an elevator. But the driver asks them where they're going, and Blair and Dan are trying to decide, and the poor driver is getting impatient. And Blair's like, "We just need to get drunk more." And so they tell the driver to take them to Williamsburg. No address or place or anything, just a general area of Williamsburg. And,
Right in the middle.
then Blair hopes that the place they go to has a clean bathroom they can use. What's Blair turned into? This is disgusting. Are you kidding
I
me?
don't know. Because the problem before was that they couldn't find like a nice, comfortable place to do it, and all of a sudden now they just like
Seems
to be
pretty
in public
implied
only.
also that they're about to go in the taxi as well. So like, I don't know.
This poor driver. He cannot
Yeah.
get to Williamsburg fast enough.
I think he's fine.
He might be somebody's uncle.
That's true. If I know something about cab drivers, they always have nephews. William and Lola are in the lobby. He thanks her again for coming forward, and she apologizes for thinking he was conspiring with Ivy. I guess Lola just hates Ivy now. Like, all right, fine. She's
At the start of the
officially
episode, that was her
on-
best friend.
on
Yeah,
Team
she
Vanderwood.
was
Yeah,
annoyed by
exactly.
her early on. Yeah.
She was definitely annoyed by her, but yeah, now she's firmly in the Vanderwoodson camp. William understands it's hard to know what to think when no one tells you the whole story, and Lola agrees, and she's like, no one's ever told me my whole story. Hint, hint, who my dad is. And William tells Lola that he used to know her mother pretty well, and if she's concealing things from her, then it's probably only to protect her. So yeah, congrats, Lola. This is the family you've pledged your loyalty. The family that is just going to nonstop lie to you, to quote unquote protect you.
I guess she's used to lying a little bit.
Sure. I mean, she didn't know it was lies
She
until
didn't
recently.
know. That's true.
Lola wants to know how it protected her to grow up alone with no family, but her mom. And William just says to talk to your mom and forgive her. Easy as that, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Papa Billy tells her he messed up so badly with Serena and Eric that it took a long time to rebuild a relationship. They found a place in their hearts to forgive him, and he would never do anything to lose them again. Like cheat on Lily with your mother. Don't tell
He
anyone.
says that in a sneeze.
Like how Rufus mumbled in the bit. What are you doing here, William? You cheated on Lily.
Rufus really needs to learn how to mumble. He said that way too clearly, way too loud.
So, Lola asks this person whom she just met, what if her father doesn't know she exists? And, all she wants is to know him. And William just answers, I'm sure he does. And then just tells her to get in a cab and he'll catch the next one. I don't know. Papa William, do we like William now? What's going on here? Are we supposed to be, what
Pretty
is this?
indifferent.
Yeah, indifferent.
I guess.
maybe still even a little mad at him because it's still it will not stop being crazy to me.
True.
That everyone just forgave him for what he did to Lily. He's a bad man.
He gave her fake cancer.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we also are like conveniently forgetting that Jack tried to rape Lily, and he's just back in here, and we're
Yeah,
just
at least
like,
he's interacting
Jack,
with them though.
a fun-loving uncle.
He's
Yeah,
just in
exactly.
hospitals. He's not going to go after any crippled kids.
Serena at the Spectator. Apparently, Nate texted her to come into the office. Mr. McKenzie saw the story about Ivy that Serena obviously sent to Gossip Girl, even though that Serena knew that Nate hooked him up with exclusive access, and so Mr. McKenzie told Nate if he couldn't deliver on that, then he can't trust him to deliver on big things either. Excuse me. So Serena is not only screwing up her family life, but also her professional life. Really leaning into how much Serena sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. McKenzie backed out. And Serena's like, oh, I'm sorry. But, I was just trying to help my family, and you wouldn't let me put in the Spectator. Like, Jesus Christ, Serena never takes accountability.
No, absolutely never. She just always does something stupid and thinks that she should be able to get away with it. Like, well, I'm sorry, Nate. So like, I'll try again tomorrow.
Sorry, but if you think about it, it's your fault. If you would just give me the sorry. And then Nate's response is fantastic. He's just like, that's all well and good, but you're fired.
Yeah, get her. Get her.
What? This wouldn't have happened if you wouldn't take the story away from me. Like, Serena doesn't understand that Nate
Blaming
is her
him
boss.
now is not going to make him hire you back.
Even though Nate is 21 and stupid, he still is her boss and wasn't doing anything unfair to her. Like, she's just so entitled.
He's so entitled, so immature.
Amen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Nate,
maybe eventually her whining will be charming.
no, I don't. We've reached the point of no return.
Okay.
Nate tells her he was right not to trust her with the story or anything else. Now he has to go try and save the jobs of the people who actually still work here. And Serena's crushed. What's she gonna do for money now? She doesn't have a job.
I guess now Serena she leans fully into Gossip Girl.
Yeah, of course she's not going to struggle for money. She is still the daughter of billionaires, but she takes the Gossip Girl computer.
Wait, so is there
other
other assets not frozen? Just Ivy's?
Yeah, just Ivy's.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't see him push the button? Just said just
It
Ivy.
was just the Ivy.
Ivy button had a Lily button, had a Serena button. He just pressed the Ivy
He
button.
only pushed Ivy.
Yeah. As you said, Brendan, there's nothing stopping Serena from being Gossip Girl now.
Which is what she always wanted.
Yeah.
In theory.
Okay, sure, yeah. Back at the loft, Lily is worried that Ivy's going to pull an Anna Nicole Smith and take this to the Supreme Court. She's saying this could take years, so Lily thinks they should look for another place, as she is in the very loft that they already own. I love how much Lily clearly hates this place.
Here's your teapot, Brendan.
Yeah, here's finally Brendan's joke of the episode where, Rufus lights the stove that Lily was clearly struggling with, and she's very startled by it.
It almost burns them, and they just go, ah, ha, 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 ha. It was like a mini explosion. They just laugh it off.
Well, this place has charm. It's the Quirks.
It's a quirk. You might light yourself on fire.
A character.
They're going to be up in flames as Rufus is just sitting in a chair by himself saying, it's the Quirks.
But it would really get the hell out of here. So eat all my waffles.
Ivy's eating cake by herself. Once again, can't help but feel bad for the true victim in this story. And she receives the balance for the party she just threw. It's $31,000. They don't take credit cards, and her assets are already frozen. So, okay. Out of luck, I
the
guess.
cake eating scene, I don't know if it made me feel bad for her or if it made me more scared of her. Like, she's going to snap soon.
And then, are you predicting another murder?
Yeah, this scene was very Joker-esque to me. I think she's going to start like wiping the cake on her face. Like a lunatic.
She gonna take it out on this poor person that just had to deliver the bill? Is that the first person?
Maybe.
To go?
We didn't see
Oh my God, I hope that's where next episode takes us. Dan and Blair exit the bar. Blair quotes the great Tom DeLonge and asks, "Where do we go from here?" And Dan leads her to the nearest alleyway so they can make out some more. To me, this is an assassination of Blair's character. She is making out with the Humphrey in dirty alleyways in Brooklyn.
Well,
I will.
She's
I will
drunk. Give her that.
I'll never look at Blair the same way again.
You know,
She just presumably had sex with him in a bar bathroom.
When she had her bachelorette party at that dive bar.
True.
That was the day she
charming,
lowered her
though.
standards. Yeah, I guess.
That I enjoyed. I just don't think that she would ever have sex with Dan in a bar bathroom.
I don't think so either. I didn't like
She's
it.
a new woman.
Ugh, I hate it. This is not the Blair I stand.
No. It feels like a different show. It feels like they just feel like different people.
Certainly does. But Chuck is on the phone with our old friend, Andrew Tyler, the best private investigator in the game. And Chuck asked him if he remembered the woman with the locket from a couple years ago, Elizabeth Fisher. Chuck needs to find her again. You know, a storyline that we all knew and loved from season 3. We were all begging to get this to come back. Yeah. Bring it back, everyone's favorite
If I
storyline.
remember
Looking
correctly,
for
in season
Elizabeth.
3, I was begging for it to go away because it went on for
Yeah,
way too long.
I was being sarcastic, yeah.
Yeah, no, I couldn't remember how much
got
I hated
that.
it. If it was like boring or if it was just like Jesus Christ, enough.
It went on forever.
Yeah.
Now it's back. Jack is in the limo on the phone. He says that he just left Chuck and he knows it wasn't his blood. I think you should come back and handle it yourself. Who's Jack talking to? Is this Elizabeth on the phone or is this someone else?
I think we're supposed to assume Elizabeth, but I guess could be anyone. Because it's a cliffhanger.
It could be anyone.
Ooh.
Nate comes home. He apologizes to Lola for telling Serena what she saw, and she just forgives him. So
She's
that's
fine. She's very
all right.
easygoing, is what I've learned here.
Yeah.
So they start making out, but Nate has to answer a call from his lawyer, and he's like, "Oh my God, please tell me you have an offer that'll keep the Spectator afloat." And it's like, this is when I was like, why is the Spectator struggling so much that it's going to shut down?
I know.
The 21-year-old left in charge is running it into the ground. I guess that does make sense, as we said, but like, this is the first we're hearing of this, and
It's all Serena's fault.
it is.
Yeah.
And they tell Nate that they do have someone that can keep it afloat. Diana Payne.
Yeah,
I
she's
told you
back,
she'd be
baby.
back. It looks like she's coming back to the Spectator, no less. This should be fun. Who knows?
She's back to where she was, I guess, running it again.
Well, she's the investor that's going to keep it afloat.
Uh-huh.
Nate's still editor in chief.
I think he's going to get demoted. And they're going to start banging again. And we're going to be
God,
back to
hopefully.
the beginning of season 5.
And
Start
Lola's
it
going to
all
have
over
to
again.
watch. Yep. We're just playing season 5 on a loop.
And instead of Charlie working there, it's Lola.
Slowly, yeah.
Yeah.
So Serena's on her new laptop. She gets a message from XOXO44. I read your blog, and while you do a pretty good me, you're not the real deal. So if you'll just hand over the password, I'd like my site back. So
So she did
Serena's
such a bad job at being Gossip Girl. That Gossip Girl came out of
She's like,
vacation.
I gotta shut this down.
Like, Jesus Christ, I got to get
Yeah,
back.
she's getting messages from the actual Gossip Girl who wants her site back. But remember, Serena's under strict instructions from Georgina to not share the password with anyone. So thank God she said something. Otherwise, Serena would be like, oh, okay, here's the password, Gossip Girl.
I feel like the real Gossip Girl is the one exception.
You are the only exception. It's who Haley Williams was
Ooh.
singing about. And that's how we end the episode. What happens next? To quote Blair Waldorf, where do we go from here?
Serena's Gossip Girl, really fun, cool. Dan and Blair have good. Next episode, they have good sex all episode. That'll be fun.
Oh,
Instead of
wow.
having
Okay,
any bad
wow.
sex, yeah.
Well,
that's it. I
hopefully
guess.
you're right. Hopefully that's the whole episode. Let's get into some segments. Of course, my favorite segment, user review of the week. I did go back to the Gossip Girl wiki, and boy, I say it every week, but we are in the throes of the Dare versus Chair ship wars.
Oh.
There were 59 comments on the wiki, and I did
Wow.
sift through all of them to see who was winning this argument. The big controversy this week seemed to be that there was some kind of poll, and I'm guessing that it was a poll that was like, who were you shipping Blair with, Dan or Chuck, or something like that. And a lot of the Dare shippers were complaining. They were like, all the Chair shippers are voting, and they're erasing their cookies so they can vote again, so they can taint the
Oh, wow.
results. We can't let the Chair shippers get away with this.
Sounds like the chair shippers wanted it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Like, I don't know why the Dare shippers just didn't do. If they knew what the Chair shippers were doing,
Right.
why
It's
didn't the Dare
This
shippers?
is the plan. Let's all erase our cookies.
No, we have to stop them from doing it. The results are tainted.
Wow.
You can't believe the polls. Like, it was so good. The stands were really going.
Especially
at
like
it.
I want to cover like a TV show that's happening live to get in on with those people.
They all seem deranged, and so I pulled. I did pull one comment from a fandom user said, Dan and Blair are great together. Less than 3, a heart. And then the reply, though, someone replied 3 days later, sorry, but you're wrong in the head. Dan and Blair together are sick. The writers are all mentally ill for making them have sex. I used to love the show, but now I hate it because of this. Game over.
That was
Nice.
yours.
Jinx-
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's me. That was Jigsaw himself weighing in. Game over. It's like, yeah, the writers are mentally ill for making them have sex. I agree.
Yeah, no, that sounds like something you would have written. So
Dan and Blair together are sick. That's why I pulled the comment. I have to agree with them. Yeah, they were really going at it. Dare versus Chair. I wish I could have experienced it in the real time.
I don't.
Yeah. I think I'm not afraid of them.
Next week, the title is It Girl Interrupted. Do you have any predictions based on the episode title?
No. I don't know what the hell that could possibly mean.
Serena tries to make Lola the next It Girl.
Like she did with Ivy back in the day.
Yep.
Okay.
Another debutante ball, perhaps?
Okay, I'll be down for that.
Just pulling it out again.
Why not?
They did
Why not?
one earlier this season.
This season feels like 2 seasons.
It does. There was the first half.
Not in a
That was
good way,
fine.
though.
Not in a
And
good
the
way.
second
No.
half, it's been really bad.
No.
Let's do the episode grades. I went first last week. Brendan, you can go first this week.
Yeah, I knew this was going to be a low episode. I mean, we talked about it at the very beginning, how much this was kind of a clunker. I don't want to give this a complete F because I was watching it and it was an episode of television that I didn't turn off.
Can't be disputed.
You know, and again, I don't think I'd have to fully turn off the episode for it to fail. But I don't think we've gotten to F territory quite yet. But we were dangerously close for me. I hate I hate the sex. Sex is bad. I detest it.
Sex is bad.
I know one thing about Brendan.
Sex is bad.
Bad.
It was embarrassing. I don't like them doing this to Blair. It makes me upset. Lily's a villain. Don't fully love that, even though it turns me on a little bit.
Lily's a villain.
I feel bad for Ivy, but she's still like not. I don't care about her that much either. Billy Baldwin's annoying me. What else is bad? There's a lot of bad stuff. I don't think I have anything good besides the scene with Jack Bass and the Cripples. It sounds like a new band name. And so if Jack Bass gives me my best scene of the episode, it's got to be a D-.
A D-. I'll piggyback on that. I'll say this episode is terrible. We have the rare 0 for 4 where all 4 storylines of the episode are bad. The main plot of trying to get the house back from Ivy makes no sense. It's based on a bribe that doesn't exist. And as far as Gossip Girl plans go, it's not even like fun or zany enough to enjoy. And then we're left unclear who we should even be rooting for at the end of the episode because the good guys suck. Blair and Dan having bad sex is pointless. I'm so mad at the writers for completely assassinating Blair's character to the point where she is not recognizable. Chuck is completely separate from the rest of the story, and the only thing we find out is that Jack did not give him blood, and Elizabeth did. So they're potentially bringing back a plot line that we hated the first time around. And then, there's nothing I enjoy less than watching Nate in investor meetings. So not only do I not care who's giving him the Spectator money, but the fact that the Spectator is in trouble financially comes out of nowhere. And I guess it's only here to provide a reason for Diana Payne to come back.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, our big cliffhangers are that Elizabeth and Diana Payne might be coming back, which who cares? And Gossip Girl wants to come back, but that's just a return to the status quo. If Gossip Girl, the real Gossip Girl, comes back, so there's literally nothing enjoyable about watching Gossip Girl in this stretch of episodes lately. The episode didn't upset me as much as the one where we're supposed to root for Ben the statutory rapist, which I've given my only F to, but it did have the one funny scene with Michael and the fake leukemia kid. So much like you, I will give it a D- instead of an F. So congrats for staying out of F territory. 2 D-. Matt Liguori, what do you grade this episode?
I'll bump it up from a D- to a D for myself.
Nice.
Purely thanks to Rufus's waffles that made me kind of hungry, kind of craving a waffle. So it's not like I got nothing out of this episode. I got that. So we'll go with a D.
Okay.
You got hunger.
What are you gonna put in
And
those
I
divots?
feel like a D feels pretty fitting for an episode like this. D. A lot of D.
Yeah.
A lot of
Lot of
D.
D in
lot of
this
D.
episode.
A lot of uncles and a lot of D.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing, Brendan. Well, I feel like with the 2 D- and a D, this may be the new lowest rated episode, but
Yeah.
stay tuned for the season recap to see. MVP, Brendan, who's your MVP of the episode?
This is really difficult, and I think
It really
it'll reflect in my choice here. I'm gonna give Nate an MVP. I think he just bothered me the least, and I like how he fires Serena.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
I like that too. Yeah, there's no one even worth giving an MVP in this episode. It's so bad. So I'm going to give it to Michael, the leukemia actor. He booked a job. He's good enough in the role that he fools Jack and gets a paycheck from Chuck. So good work from him.
He had a good up.
Yeah, Michael gets the leukemia actor Michael
What?
the leukemia actor gets the MVP.
Is that an award? The leukemia actor of the episode?
And the leukemia actor
Heather,
goes to
new segment.
Oh boy.
who's your MVP, Liguori?
Well, I was thinking, Nate, if I don't end up doubling up on him, is there an argument for Chuck? I don't know, just, some
Potentially.
go-getter
Is there?
effort
there?
to, find out the
Actively bad, I guess. Yeah.
information he's looking for and, take down the jerk of his uncle along the way. But I think I will double down on the Nate of it all. This guy knows what he's talking about, and these two topics, he's the one the most prepared. The firing Serena was also a good touch at the end here after she's just a mess all over the place in this episode, and Gossip Girl, also fired Serena. So just
or was trying to.
Nate did it first, and we'll go Nate.
Okay.
All right. Good for Nate capitalizing in an episode with not a lot of options here. LVP now, Brendan. Who's your LVP?
It's got to be Serena. I mean, she ruined her family's plan, or she almost ruined her family's plan to get back their estate, and then bullied her cousin into helping them out, and got fired in the process of all this. And like you said, is getting fired by Gossip Girl as well. She's losing everything and is blaming everyone else for it, like she always does, and it's horrible.
It is horrible. Not to agree with you again, but my LVP is for Serena again, for the second week in a row for me. She fucks up her family. She fucks up her job with that stupid Gossip Girl blast. She's impulsive for no reason. She doesn't think about what she's doing. Then she refuses to take accountability for it when the consequences happen. She is the reason that her family's stupid plan almost doesn't work. And then she gets fired at the end of the episode. But, and then she deserves it solely because of her actions from 7:56 to 8:00 p.m. The fact that she knew she had to undo a Gossip Girl blast by 8, and she had 4 minutes to try to make it happen, and wasted 3 minutes and 45 seconds of that flirting with Dick Cavett is unforgivable. So, LVP for Serena for me. Liguori, who is your LVP?
I was going to go Serena, but I'm not tripling up on that. We'll have to make things a little bit more interesting here, and throw an LVP to Dan for being such a bad, selfish lover.
Nice.
Blair was going through all of this effort to show up and get things going the way that she did at the beginning of the episode, and just every step along the way, it seemed like Dan was the obstacle. Eventually, they get, they figure it out, but I'm just gonna give Dan his due hate towards for that.
I don't blame you.
Dan.
I'm with you.
All right, so those are our segments, except of course for everyone's favorite segment, Lonely Boys Theater.
Hey.
We will do night. What was that, Brendan?
Hey.
I heard the music too. I just I wasn't singing it out loud.
We will do a nice brief scene where Ivy finds out that she was set up. So, Matt Liguori, you're our guest. Would you like the meaty role in Ivy, or would you like William or Lily?
I am always going to take the role that has the least amount of lines, because you two are so good in your roles that I would not like to get in the way of that. I'll take William.
Okay. So, Brendan, would you like to be your girl Lily, or do you want
to be my girl Lily? Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'll take the meaty role.
Take it, meat boy.
All right. Does everyone have their script in front of them?
I would say Matt is the opposite of a meat boy.
Yeah, I'm the least meaty boy here.
that is
I'll not be appearing on our Patreon podcast, The Meaty Boys.
That's true. And you're on the slimmer side these days.
Wow, thanks so much. If I quit drinking this Diet Coke, maybe I'll be even slimmer.
We'll see.
We see that treadmill.
Yep. It's always
most podcasts
just how many treadmills have we gone through over the past couple of years? Like 4? They always break.
No. I mean,
just 3.
This is my third treadmill, but
it was 3.
The treadmill before this one just broke a lot, and I used to get it fixed a lot, and then eventually it's game easier to get an actual good treadmill.
You can take it to the you're always getting your laptops fixed.
I mean, if things break, I have to.
You take the treadmills to the laptop fixers?
No, I had a bad experience getting my phone fixed at the CPR cell phone repair. Not to do an anti-plug, but they're usually very good. And I brought my back camera, and my flash wasn't working, and I brought it in, and they told me it would be ready in 45 minutes to an hour and a half. So I come back in 2 hours. It's still not ready. I'm like, all right, it'll be 10 minutes. I'm waiting there for 45 minutes without a phone to keep me company, because they have my phone. And they're like, all right, we fixed the back camera and the flash. The only thing that we couldn't get to work is the front camera. I was like, the front camera wasn't broken when I gave it to you. So,
what did you do?
Great that you fixed the other stuff. They're like, no, we
charge you like $100 plus.
They didn't fix it. They were like, we can take a look at it, but that'll take another 2-3 hours. I figured you want your phone back. I was like, well, what happened? Like, why is it? And they were like, well, we don't even.
Well,
touch
when we
the
fix
front
one
camera.
thing, it breaks the other naturally.
They were like, we don't even touch the front camera when we fix the back camera, so it wasn't us. I was like, oh, okay, great. So now my front camera's just broken, and I had to pay them full price to fix my.
What are you gonna do?
Back camera.
No selfies for you, I guess.
I mean, the thing is, I probably just won't get it fixed now because I don't take selfies anyway. So the back camera and the flash was a lot.
But what if we want to FaceTime?
Pressing it.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. I guess next time I FaceTime, I'll have to get my
You
phone.
have to stand in
Doing
front of a
reviews.
mirror so that you can like have us looking at you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, the FaceTiming of it all. Oh, I guess I'll just have to get a new phone.
I guess
All right,
so.
so let's act this scene out. Does everyone have their script in front of them?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, I will start as Ivy. I should have known. You only came to humiliate me with more of your lies. I didn't bribe William.
You tried. You said you'd pay me to get people to attend this party.
Because you offered. This is all just a setup.
The only setup here is whatever you did to manipulate my mother.
Shut the fuck up, Lily. You have no proof I did anything wrong. You'd kick me out of this house, and you can't. I should have never had you back. Wow. Chilling.
Wow.
Wow.
The cell phone fixing banter was longer than the scene.
Yeah, it was. That
I
was
tried
hard
to make it a little bit longer with the "shut the fuck up" thrown in there, but it didn't help all
Only
the
a few
way.
more words.
Always love some profanity.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that read as written. So that does it for our great segments. Everyone loved Lonely Boys Theater as always, and so that does it for everything except for some plugs. But before that, Liguori, thank you so much for filling in, for switching your
Thank you.
episode around
Yes,
so
yes.
you could fill in, so you could become a part of the Six Timers Club. Do you have anything you'd like to plug at this hour?
No, like you said when we were, discussing off air, you can't become part of the Seven Timers Club until you get into the Six Timers
That's
Club.
true.
So you gotta do what you gotta do. What I like to plug is my podcast,
Ooh.
the Free Agents podcast, where Matthew Gagan has guested with us in the past month, 2 months. I don't know. This television show that we cover is called The Challenge, and it takes forever to finish airing a season, but that's what we're doing, covering The Challenge and The Traders and other shows as they pop up, and we want to talk about them, Brian Scally and I, over on the Free Agents podcast. And otherwise, I'm on Twitter at Matt Liguori, and you can tell me all about how much you hated Dan in this episode as well.
Yes,
Very nice.
a great podcast. I was just listening to yesterday actually, and I heard my shout out when you decided to pay Mariah a compliment. I was very happy.
I was thinking of you when I when I watched it. I had to get the shout out in there for it, and there we go.
There'll be a lot more of those to come when Mariah becomes the face of the challenge. Brendan,
Keep dreaming.
what are you plugging?
Well, it's still season 5 of this podcast, so that means I am plugging patreon.com/boysmedia. Almost said it again. We cover the OC over there. You can listen to 33
Matt Liguori
episodes.
was on our most recent episode, and I don't think you ever released that one.
Well,
You
it's
didn't release
coming.
my episode?
It's coming. We're still in February. Maybe what
Still
I do
hasn't
today.
been. I really thought for sure it was going to come a few days ago, but it still hasn't.
I've had a busy week.
Now you can double dosage of Liguori you can upload.
Oh wow! No.
People are asking.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I forget who that is a reference to. But these plugs are falling off the rails. You know what? While I'm in it, might as well just also plug Malt Madness. I know I said during this month or this season I would only plug the Patreon, but Malt Madness is something very special to me, and Matt Gagan's going to be in the first episode. I think when this drops, it'll be the following Thursday will be the first episode of Malt Madness. Matt
Sure.
Gagan's non-alcoholic bracket of green drinks.
Oh, the green drinks were great.
The green drinks.
You know, which green drink was the best green drink?
I was laughing. I was telling somebody else about when we were in the car with Chris the other day. Like, oh, Chris, what color is your bracket? My bracket's green. He's like, what are you talking about?
Yellow, I guess.
So check out the green drinks over on the Hoppy Boys pod.
All right. As for me, I actually do have something to plug this week. I believe when this podcast is released, my episode of BoJack Horsepod Presents Tuca and Bird Pod will be out. I was on to recap season 3, episode 6 of Tuca and Birdie, the one episode that I had memory of. So I came on. Very great episode. I liked it just as much on rewatch. I had a great time, of course, chatting with Lindsay and Kirsten. It was a great time. Check out the podcast. Check out the episode. And yeah, I guess besides that, you can follow me on Twitter at MattyFresh24. You can follow Brendan at Ruppy Puppy. And you can follow his other podcast, The Hoppy Boys, at The Hoppy Boys Pod. And then you can come back here next week where we'll be breaking down Season 5, Episode 19, It Girl Interrupted. Until then, you know you love us. XOXO. Lonely Boys.
Bye-bye. Liguori approved.